Here we go. Okay, dope. Okay, is the table straight?
It's good.
Can we? Let's start with that, bro. How did this table come? So this table has housed CE motherfucking O's. It has housed some seriously, important people. How do we get this table, Val?
Oh, that's a funny story. Well, we have a group chat
Right.
on Slack.
Shout out to everyone's group chat.
Right. But this is like a business, quote unquote, group chat where we do business. Even though it gets out of control sometimes. But yeah, you send me a message. You're like, hey, there's this restaurant and they're like renovating or some shit and they're getting rid of these tables.
Bro, they were closing.
They were closing.
Yeah.
They're shutting down, whatever. You're like, dude, they got these tables outside. They're just like up for grabs.
Beautiful round tables.
Can somebody like get them? So I'm like, okay, well I have this work truck, so all right, I'll go pick them up. I had no idea that the base of this table weighs like 1,000,000 fucking pounds.
So there's two parts of this table. The
Right,
top is a big piece of wood. The bottom though is like this concrete. It's literally a concrete. I think it's a concrete slab.
I don't know what the fuck's in it. It's like they built it out of wood and filled it with like that unobtainium shit that weighs 1,000,000 pounds.
I think it's called concrete. I think it's wood filled with concrete.
And yeah, so I went over there solo because assuming it's a table, I'll just pick up the table and put it in whatever.
Oh.
And I had to drag this base that weighs like 1,000 pounds from the edge of this restaurant to the curb, which I don't know was maybe 50 feet.
Exaggerate.
There
we go.
Felt like 500 feet. It was brutal.
500 feet for all purposes of the story.
It was so rough. And then I attempted to get it in the back of my truck about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, how'd you do that?
Unsuccessful. Some bystander came by and he's like, hey, you need a hand? I'm like, yes, please. Like, this thing weighs so much.
This thing weighs so much.
So much. And then, I got in the truck and then I drove it here and nobody was here to help me. And
of course not.
So the fiasco happened all in reverse and I kind of just slowly rolled it in here in the rain.
In the rain.
Yeah. But we made it.
We made it. Like
and
Joyce.
Tables,
it was.
it's been through quite a lot already.
It's played its part. It's played an instrumental part in the success of this podcast, hands down. And I saw it.
It'll be a shame when we fucking light it on fire.
I know.
One
We're
day.
definitely gonna have to light it on fire one day for sure. And like I'm gonna cry for sure. I know. I was walking home from the Joyce Calling because I live right by Joyce Collingwood. SkyTrain station. I was walking home and in the back alley was this like fucking table. I was like, this is perfect because we were moving locations at the time.
Yeah, we just moved in here. We had nothing.
We didn't have a table. We didn't have anything.
Yeah,
we didn't have anything at all. And so we're like, hey, we'll throw the black tablecloth on it, all this type of stuff. We'll throw that on there because people don't know the other table was just two. What are they called? Just two folding. They're just two folding plastic. Like, it was bullshit. It looked good, but it was bullshit. Yeah. And now we have a real wood table. So when we burn this thing, I'm definitely gonna shed a tear for sure.
Yeah. Well, we gotta upgrade at some point.
I know. So
upgrades are inevitable.
I know. So Val Bundy.
Yeah.
That's like that for all intents and purposes, that's your name.
I suppose. Yeah. I mean, it's my Instagram handle. It's my nickname. My one of many nicknames.
Nah, it's just Val Bundy.
Main nickname, yeah, that's what I love.
You should get I don't know. You should get your name changed. Almost. Nah, maybe I don't know. It's close,
Val
bro.
Bundy legally.
100% should
just
be
like
Val
one
Bundy.
word too, no last name, like Shaft or whatever.
Oh, there we go, dude. I definitely like that for sure. It would look fire on a Tinder profile too.
Oh,
yeah?
I don't really use Tinder, but
no?
Yeah, you have a point there.
Come on, Val.
I mean, I did for a while. That's not for me, man.
What are you talking about? Ease of access.
Right,
Listen,
I guess, but then you meet these people. They're not really interested in talking to you. It's hard to get conversations going. It's just like, nah, I'm not. It's not what I excel at.
listen, I'm just telling. To the left or to the right is a lot easier than going on a date. But
I prefer going on a date.
Economies of scale, my man. What are we trying to do? Listen,
but I prefer.
we're men. We're trying to spread our seed. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, okay, but like that's not. If I want to do it my way. Like fuck you, like you know what I mean. Like,
I'm not saying that's my way. I'm just saying that's a way.
Sounds like you're a big advocate for it. I don't know.
No, I'm just saying that if you swipe to the left, you swipe to the right, it's economies of scale, and it's just more efficient. Like you're an efficient guy. I feel like that's something you could do.
I mean, yeah, not everything's about efficiency, man. You know, like some things are better left the old school way.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You
Wine,
meet someone,
candles.
you vibe with them, you get to like them.
You get a
exchange
coffee.
numbers,
You go to the park.
You do whatever, and you like get to know each other. Like that's the proper way. It feels better to do it that way.
You know, I listen. I agree, but I don't think that once people know that your name is Val Bundy on Twitter, I think that's about all they need to know, and they should be sold at
Val
that
Bundy's
point.
available on Twitter. So you on Twitter?
I don't know.
It's not like I'm not on it. I think I'd enjoy Twitter, but I'd do the same thing I do with Instagram, where like I'd scroll through a lot and read people's shit and like maybe retweet stuff, but like wouldn't post a lot of my own shit.
I'm sternly disagreeing on this. Absolutely not. Twitter was made for you, bro. Twitter was made for you. Like you're the person.
I'm still gonna get canceled.
No, yeah, you're gonna get canceled
before I even become anybody.
Dude, you're gonna see one Joey Diaz fucking tweet, and it's gonna send you off the.
He's the best. I see his tweets, like I see his stuff, like Instagram, they get reposted.
Yeah, shit. Man,
he's hilarious.
No, dude,
but he's developed a reputation where he can say whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, but he would trigger you. He would trigger you.
Not me.
Yeah, he would.
Not
me. No. Like he wouldn't. Like okay, trigger is the wrong word.
He would trigger people.
He would trigger people.
I love that guy.
But the reaction of those people being triggered would just pull you in like the fucking gravitational force of the sun.
Right.
And you would just go off on that. It's the perfect spot to exchange.
But you have to be super articulate. Like I'm gonna just say some dumb
says
shit.
Who?
Well, you don't, but you can really stir up.
That's
some
the fun of
crazy
it.
shit. Yeah.
That's the fun of it. Listen, Facebook, you got to be articulate.
I might be sold here. I might just get on
100%, dude. Listen, all day, what are you doing? You're working, you're listening to podcasts, and you should be tweeting at motherfuckers, not letting anybody in the northern hemisphere slip on their shit. You should. You honestly should, man. I think that listen. So this is what I think that where you should go from here. I think where you should go from here is you should fuck around. We should create a whole other podcast called the Val Bundy podcast, okay? I haven't told Kevin yet. He's hearing us in the background yet. Our producer, Kevin, is hearing us in the background, but it's on air. You can't change this now. You can edit this out, but you better not. So I think what we do, you can,
but you shouldn't.
is we set up another pod, okay, Val Bundy pod, and then we use that as a platform, and we get Val 5 minutes at Yuck Yucks. You dig? We'll get 5 minutes at Yuck Yuck, and listen.
Why at Yuck Yucks?
I don't know, wherever, anywhere, any open mic, whatever. And then whenever you go on stage, we'll just like, who's the comedian backstage that always gets real? Joey Diaz. Backstage, he's always like he just starts fighting people and shit. Like you fucking motherfucker. Like we would just be the people that you would fight with.
Like go out there and start screaming.
What I mean? Like what the fuck you doing, Josh? Wearing the same fucking hoodie as me on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
the one self-conscious about that.
I am, man, 100%.
It wasn't intentional.
Because mine's fresh out the washer and I didn't iron it, but it's all good.
Always, twinning and shit.
I know, bro.
Accident. Well, we don't have that much self-hired gear, and I'm always in self-hired gear.
Exactly.
Like I'm always wearing those classic old tees, and at least nobody has those anymore.
No one has those.
That's dope. I have a stack of them.
Dude, take and performing them, bro. Take those on stage
and
performing them. All I'm saying.
I'm on stage in front of live audiences. I'm fucking terrified already. Like dude, that's the last thing I want to do.
Okay, listen. You spend all day listening to comedians. You're a podcast fiend.
I love it.
You love this shit. Okay. All right. So you just through all that, all the thoughts you have to do. I guarantee you could put together 5 minutes. And I just I think you should just go once.
I've thought about it, but I don't think I'm that funny.
Listen, no one thinks they're funny, but everyone around you thinks you're funny. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's true.
I think you're full of shit. So
but maybe I'm funny in the context of you know me. If I'm like some random crazy guy screaming on stage.
Nope, I disagree. I completely disagree.
I don't think
because if I know you, I'm like fuck. Because I see the Val meter. The Val meter starts going. You know what I'm saying? And then you're like shit. You got to rein him back. But if I don't know you, it's just hilarious. Like who is this guy and why is he so riled up?
Well, I appreciate that. I do. I'm very loud.
Super loud.
I'm very opinionated. Those things do not often play in my favor.
Yeah, but they could on stage. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe.
You can just riff off the audience. That's all I'm saying.
It's possible.
It's plausible.
I've thought about it. Not seriously.
Yeah.
I love the art form. I wouldn't want to and to do something like that. Like bombing's inevitable. Like I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna eat shit, and I don't want to do that. That does not seem like fun. But then it's all part of the process. It's like if I really wanted to do that, I understand that would be necessary, and that's going to happen.
At least, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Ooh, man.
No,
Seems
dude,
like
100%. You should
like my worst
go up
nightmare.
there and do that, because that's just you. It's just playing into your personality a little bit. Like you riff. Just like if you.
Well, if I was gonna do that, I'd rather do like something like this or like a YouTube show.
I understand, and that's why I'm saying Val
That's
Bundy podcast. We start you there. You build out the personality. Okay, these are the catchphrases. This is when he really attacks people. Is when someone
Right.
says some shit about gender equality. He just jumps on him.
Yeah. Val Bundy against the world. Yeah.
Val Bundy against the world. And like just kamikazing on everyone. Like there's a nice play on words there. I don't know. Like if I was a promoter, I would rock with it.
We can talk about it more off the air.
Okay, we'll talk about more off the air. Listen, we don't want to make people stealing.
You never brought this up to me before.
No, I never did. I was like
on the podcast.
It just kind of came
put
to
me
the
on
top.
blast. Like
It's all good. It's all good. I think it'd be a good one. I think it'd be a good fit. So, so you're a podcast absolute fiend.
Yeah, I love it.
You're like, how do you? So we started this like 18 months ago, maybe.
This sounds
Like
about
that.
right.
Yeah, like
so much has happened since then. It's hard to keep track.
All right. No, it totally is. It totally is. So in that time, I was just listening to this other podcast the other day. They said that there's a 700,000 podcast now. 700,000.
Okay.
That
seems like a small number.
Does it seem like a small number?
Yeah.
That seems like a huge number.
Dude,
to me.
everybody and their mom has a podcast. I mean, most of them are not successful or like they're not Joe Rogan, but they're out there and they're doing it every week or every month or whatever.
I hear you.
I mean, there's podcasts about everything. There's probably podcasts about like knitting and shit.
No, of course
like,
there is.
What?
Dude, there's probably a podcast about foam rollers, dude. Like I guarantee there's all types of.
That's like 4 or 5 episodes. I mean, you're gonna run out of content. But
no, bro, you can lint a lot of shit. Anyways, you know how many blogs there are? You know how many actual blogs there are?
Well, I mean, blogging's been around since the internet was invented, so you can't.
600 million.
Yeah.
600 million.
Yeah.
Blogs.
But I mean, most of them are probably dead and fallen by the wayside and just exist out there in the ether.
Probably, but
like nobody's posting on them anymore or whatever. They're just like, they just live on the internet forever, right? And then new ones come out and they become popular, and then Yeah.
It's a natural cycle of life.
But they're just there. But they don't go away. Nothing goes away. It's always there. It's always accessible. Like unless somebody goes out of their way to like take this down and scrub this over the internet, like it just lives out there or something.
Yeah, but you can't scrub. Like, I mean, you got to pay someone a lot of money to scrub that off the internet.
Right.
A lot of money.
Right. And most of the time, like, why would you want to do that? Like, unless you said some crazy shit or like whatever.
Bro. Everyone who ever did blackface is fucking going back right now and being like, shit.
It used to just be a thing. Like
100% was a thing.
And people were just like, I like this guy, so I'm gonna dress like him, and he's black, and I'm not. So how am I gonna look like him?
In order to dress
and
like
it wasn't racist. It's crazy to me that people like no KKK Klan members dressing up like fucking Bill Cosby and going to blackface. Like that's crazy to me. Like if you hate black people, you're not gonna dress up like them.
100%.
Again, it's not the best way to show that you are a fan of someone. I'm not condoning.
There are better
this,
ways,
right? There's better ways to do it, I suppose. But like, I don't see it as a racist act. It's just silly and it's stupid. If you do it nowadays, you're an idiot. If somebody surfaces a picture from 20 years ago, like we have to understand the context of a different time. And I don't think people are bad or racist because they wore a shitty costume one year. Yeah, they dressed like a poo for Christmas or for Halloween or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? That seems crazy to me. People get so sensitive about shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah, but like,
I don't like that stuff. I don't understand. Like, why is this even a story? You know what I mean?
No, I mean,
and it doesn't even really do anything. There's all this outrage. Justin Trudeau, he's in blackface 3 times. His photos.
Reelected.
He's fucking reelected.
Yeah, reelected.
What changed?
That's a good point.
Nothing fucking changed.
About that.
Everybody complained and screamed and yelled at each other. There's all these arguments. Everybody's tweeting and Instagramming. And then at the end of the day, nothing changed. Nothing
changed at all, yeah.
All you guys just got yourself riled up.
Then there was like Kevin Hart at the Oscars. Remember that? Because he was like supposed to host the Oscars. Right. He made a somewhat gay slur.
No, but that was a different situation. Because they dug up tweets from 9 years beforehand.
9 years is a long time, man.
And he had already gone on record and apologized for those. So he's like, fuck you guys. Like, I already apologized. I'm not apologizing again.
Yeah.
This is something I said. It was a decade ago.
Yeah.
Like, get over it. And the Oscars lost. I mean, Kevin Hart. I would have loved it. I don't watch the fucking Oscars.
Who hosted it?
Nobody. I think they ended up They ended up rotating people or some shit. They did some weird thing like that. I don't know. My mom watches this shit. I don't watch it. But, yeah, it just, you know, the Oscars is fucking boring. You already know who's going to win. Like,
do you think it's rigged?
It's not rigged.
Because it's the academy.
It's the academy, right? So it's like
that sounds like some white supremacist shit, you know?
I mean, you know, there's people in the academy who are like established actors and stuff like that, and then there's like,
but there's also the KKK, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's like whatever critics or producers or whoever they are, behind the scenes people who like, you know, like that shit. Did you watch that Shape of Water movie?
No, what the hell is that? What's that?
It's a movie that won Best Picture by
I don't know,
Guillermo del Toro, whatever that.
You say you didn't watch it. I got Oscars. You know that off the top pretty quick.
Well, he's a famous director, and I watched the movie.
Okay.
Right, and the movie was beautifully shot. It was amazing cinematography. It was a great soundtrack. It was a wonderfully done movie.
Right.
But it was just fucking weird. And I was not as impressed with it as everybody else was. And I didn't get it. I didn't get why everybody's like, this movie is so amazing and it's so great and da-da-da-da-da and it's going to win. I was like, okay. It was beautifully shot. It was a weird, spoiler alert, love story between this like water alien thing and this mute woman. It's a fucking
someone was doing mushrooms.
It's a movie worth watching because it's beautifully done and it's just a beautifully shot movie, and as somebody who's in production and enjoys that kind of cinematography, I really appreciate.
No doubt.
So it's worth watching just for that. There's some beautiful scenes, and there's this one weird scene where they're in the bathroom together, and it like fills up with water, and it's cool. It's a beautifully shot movie, but I was like, this is just fucking weird. Like when it was over, I was not like, oh, that was amazing. I was like, that was just strange, and like I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I don't know. There was one that won a couple of years ago called Moonlight, I think. Do you remember that one?
Yes, I did not see it, though.
You did not see it? So Moonlight, just to tie these conversations together, Moonlight was some crazy shit. Again, great cinematography and all that stuff. I never forget. They put I just remember this one shot. They put a camera on a door of a Cadillac, like a pimped out Cadillac, like rolling on like 28s or something like that, right? And it hit the hydraulics. There's these two guys in the front, and then he gets out while the hydraulics are up on the front, and then the camera's on like the rear view mirror. Or not, no, the side mirror, and it just swung out and went beautifully into this cross scene in the next scene. Like it just like the transition.
So when he opened the door, the camera swung. Okay, yeah.
But it swang into the next scene. You know what I'm saying? And then it was just, I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. Well, they used a funky transition there.
Who gives a shit, right? No one fucking cares. But the point of the movie was it was about these two guys in the hood that are gay. And it started out with this one lone boy who's like super gay, like super gay.
Super gay.
No, like you know what I'm saying. Like some people are a little bit gay and other people are super gay. No, right? You know what I'm talking about. Stop it. But son, don't put me on blast like crazy, bro. He's super gay.
Yeah, okay, I know. I'm following.
Right? Okay. So, but he's young, and it's his story. He grows up in the hood, all that. Like, he has an older sister, but she's like the masculine one and all this type of stuff.
Okay.
And so they kind of paint the storyline over the first, like, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then they cut this scene to he meets this other guy, and they're in love. It's like, it's really beautiful. Like, and I watched it in theaters, right?
Okay.
And it's like this beautiful love scene, and like you're honestly like, this is so fucking cool. Like, first off, black stigma in the hood, all this type of stuff, right? So you're breaking down a couple doors there, which is like really cool. Shot beautifully, independent film, obviously.
Okay.
And the theater is just like, you can feel, when you're in the theater, you can feel the energy of the theater. And then all of a sudden they go to the beach. It's nighttime, moonlight, and he just starts giving him a hand job. And like he comes and all that stuff, and it was the energy in the movie theater, bro, dead. Just really? Died, bro.
Interesting.
That was it, and that was like, and I was like, that was maybe 2 years ago now, and I was like, yo, we're really not over this shit yet. Like as a culture, I don't think we're over it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if people want to see it, and it's like.
People didn't see it; they felt it, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, hand jobs are terrible.
Right.
Period. They're terrible when you get them. They're terrible when you have to give them, and they're terrible on screen. Like nobody wants to see a hand job.
No one wants to see a hand job.
Nobody's out there looking for hand job porn.
No one talks about that.
That's the worst.
Yeah, bro, that's not in your. Listen, no. MILF, big tits, oiled up, lesbian. No one says hand job.
Nobody's looking for hand job, but this shit's terrible. Nobody wants a hand job. Ladies, your man does not want a hand job. Don't waste our time. Don't waste your time. Just move on. blow me or like let's call it a
Get
night.
to the business, all right?
You know what I mean?
Like I'm trying to get to sleep. You know, I got work in the morning. Okay, I'm not gonna stay up late to get a hand job.
Maybe it is. All right, or maybe it's the theater. If there's a theater in San Francisco and it's a lot of gay people, and maybe
energy would have changed a little
whatever.
bit. But I think Davie Street is prominent in Vancouver. I thought it was a cool thing.
But you still, I don't know. Maybe it's just people. It's just weird for people still to understand. Like for me, for example, like I cannot fathom how men find other men attractive.
So yeah,
I can't even fathom how women find us attractive.
100%.
So how the fuck, you know what I mean? I think men are gross, dude. We're gross. We're hairy. We smell bad. We're sweaty and shit. Like I just don't get. I don't even get why women like us. So that blows me away that men like other men and they find that shit sexy. So I can't comprehend it on the most basic of levels.
Yeah.
So I'm just like they're just doing their thing. Like I don't understand it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not right or wrong or bad or anything. It's just like I don't.
100%.
It doesn't compute.
100%.
You know what I mean? It blows me away.
I was having a conversation.
Like I just don't get it.
I'm gonna say this real vague and shit. At some point in time, I was having a threesome conversation with my significant other, right?
Okay.
And she was like,
fun.
like that's a great, that every man loves that conversation, right?
Usually they work out not too well.
Anyways, whatever.
Not even in my
but when you start the conversation, like, yo, we're having like this, like it's this progress, Anyways, whatever. And we're having a conversation, and she's just like, yeah, I'm just like not into girls that much. I'm like, it's all good, but like women are beautiful. And she's like, yeah, no, women are beautiful, and like all this type of stuff. They take good care. Da 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 da. And then she flips the script, and she's like, well, would you ever go with another man? And I'm just like, nah. Like I personally think men are atrocious. Like as living creatures, I think men are ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like how do you ever find fucking me, you, that ugly motherfucker sitting in the corner, like any type of attractive? I don't understand that,
Like even men who are classically handsome, or like movies like a Ryan Gosling
100%.
type of dude. I can appreciate that that's a good looking man, but it doesn't do. There's nothing about it that I find enticing.
You ever?
What I mean?
Yeah, I know.
I look at him, I'm like, yeah, he's a handsome fella.
Dude. He's well built,
handsome fella,
fit,
great body, amazing actor. He's one of my favorite actors. I don't. If he offered to blow me right now, I would not say yes. I can't. You're just not my type, bro. I don't get it. Doesn't matter how much money you got. This is not happening.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So that always I've always tried to wrap my head around it. I just don't get it. I don't know enough gay people. I haven't had this conversation with any of them.
Dude, I listen. I actually know quite a few gay people, and I have this conversation quite often.
I'm so surprised. I figured one person I know well from high school would turn out to be gay or something.
Right.
Fucking nobody.
Dude.
Nobody I know is gay. I mean, I know a few gay people peripherally, like through other friends.
Yeah.
But like they're not like, I've known them for extended periods of time. I don't have any sort of deep relationship with them. I just see them around and I know their names and we say hello.
Right.
So I haven't had any in-depth conversation with them. Not that I really want to. I'm just curious.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
It'd be interesting to get the perspective of like from them and like see how they really feel about it and how they feel about women and like all that type of shit.
It'd be so interesting, right?
It would be
You've lived in one perspective your entire life.
Sure.
Right, so you're ignorant to the fact
at
of
least
other perspectives.
In regards to sexuality.
In regards to sexuality,
because I have my thing and that's what I like.
And that's your shit.
It's gonna stay that way.
But if you could just transport for a day and just get one dick in your ass one time.
hey, I wasn't going that far. I just want to talk to them. You just want to like jump in their position. I'm just curious. I just want to ask some questions.
Totally, you just want to
I don't want to find it for myself just yet.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Hypothetically. So, but I will say this: some of my best friends who are girls are lesbian women. Because it takes out because there's always at least with me there's always some sort of dynamic sexually, right? Like if you're especially if she's beautiful, she's intelligent or whatever, and like you're just friends or maybe you're in a committed relationship or whatever it may be. But I have some friends that are like super lesbian, and come. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Like super like anti-dick to the max. You know what I'm saying? Which is awesome. Like shout out to them. But they're the best friends. Like that's how I know. Like that's how women feel around gay men. It must be.
Sure.
That's the same thing.
Threatening in a way that no straight man can be.
Dude, I think everyone should go out and have more conversations.
Because there's always this underlying tone, especially if you're like an exceptionally attractive woman.
Right, there's that as well. Yeah.
Like, regardless of the fact that a man is friends with you and he's been friends with you for a long time and he's never even been creepy or made a move or anything like that, there is an undertone of like he wants to have sex with you. It
100%,
naturally, it's just gonna happen just because you're that good looking. Like,
of course.
Every man wants to have sex with you once you pass a certain threshold.
It's just primal. It's just primal.
Yeah, and it's just like every man wants to have sex with like Jennifer Lawrence.
100. Yeah, for sure.
Who looks at Jennifer Lawrence and goes, not
I'm
my
good.
type.
Thanks, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
like,
all you.
I mean, come on.
Right.
So it's like there's always that for women. Unfortunately, it's like particularly extremely attractive.
Again, because we're savage,
and
we're,
not even
we're
there's
animal.
always somebody in your pool of people that you know that like you're out of their league and they want in. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're like the dumpy girl at the office or whatever, and you don't feel that good about yourself or whatever, there's some guy at that office who wants to have sex with you. Like,
of course,
that's all he thinks about.
Of course,
every time he looks at you.
And dude, you know what? Vice versa.
Yeah, but it doesn't come off as like the other way.
Again, because we're savages. This is what I'm saying.
Also, women are discreet and they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're
respectful.
They're not
not savages. This is
like,
what I'm saying.
They're not. Yeah, men are creepy and weird,
Of course,
and women are just not like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, some of them are, I'm sure.
All right,
but for the most part, they keep it bottled up. They're very professional. They're not staring at you and checking out your ass and like whatever.
Making us feel uncomfortable and stuff.
Right. So it doesn't really play both ways in that scenario.
You know what? Nah, I'm gonna tell you the story anyways.
Okay.
So I was shout out to all the girls back on Hornby. This is so fucking funny. So like when I was I used to work at the Spot Seabreeze Lodge. We went there. We had a dinner there. All this type of stuff, right?
The lodge where I got too loud and
yeah, the lodge.
I gotta call Kevin out. He's full of shit. Yeah.
So we're in this lodge from my home island on Hornby, and we're like we're chatting it up, and then Val, we just get on some tangent. I don't know what it was about.
What were we talking about?
I don't remember.
We were talking about
you got out of control.
Whether somebody in hip hop was doing something deliberately, whether it was a marketing thing. Shit, I wish I could remember. You remember?
We touched on if it's possible that the Starbucks cup.
That's right. Yes. That's right. That's right.
Hold on. They can't hear you. Hold on. So we were talking about if the Starbucks cup in the Game of Thrones.
If it's
possible that the Starbucks cup that was shot in Game of Thrones was by accident was actually just product placement by Starbucks. That's what we were talking about.
That's what we were talking about.
To get a viral video, because that's the best advertising ever.
Yeah, it's the talk of it.
Right, the memes and all this shit, right? Okay, so
so I maintained that that's silly. That Game of Thrones was the most successful show on the planet. They don't need Starbucks could not pay them enough to ruin their integrity.
Starbucks got
now,
deep
that
pockets,
being
man.
said, the more I thought about it, it was the last season. These people are kind of checked out. Even 100%. The writer checked out. The guy who writes it didn't write the last season.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
And so it's like, okay, everybody knows it's coming to an end.
Let's make an extra
Starbucks
billion.
is coming with like $100 million.
Dude, they probably came with more than that.
Right? Like, I don't know what kind of number you have to put in their heads to be like, hey, you're going to put a coffee cup in your medieval themed show that's been like the talk of for the last 8 years and then it's going to blow up all over the place. But here's the thing, like, could you think of that? Like, would you think, okay, if we accidentally did this, it was like a quick thing. It was like a quick
Doesn't matter,
cut.
bro. It was a frame.
Would people
and if it's
really
a frame,
notice? Like, I'm blown away that people really notice.
Yes, dude. How many millions of people watch that show?
And what kind of dork is looking in the background for coffee cups? Like, are you not paying attention to the costume design and what's in the foreground and the dialogue and the beautiful?
It's a white cup, bro. It's
a
white coffee cup.
It did kind of stick
and
out,
guess
but
what?
I didn't notice it.
And the logo was what? Forward facing?
I don't think so. I don't think there was a logo. I think it was just a white cup, and everybody said Starbucks, but there was no logo.
Oh, that's some maniacal shit, man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure it was just a fucking white cup. Like, what are the odds? On movie sets, they probably just have craft services. They probably have plain white cups, big jugs of coffee. I doubt they're bringing Starbucks in. I mean,
bet
maybe
they are, man.
Maybe, but Starbucks would probably be expensive unless you have a collab with them.
Yeah, but it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah, okay, sure, but you're running a giant show. You have thousands of extras. You're building all these sets. You have costume design. You have all this shit.
Okay.
If you could save a couple bucks, why would I go with Starbucks? I go with the cheaper coffee and the plain white cups.
Okay, I understand.
But maybe not. It's definitely possible. I got a little out of hand. Okay, it was definitely. I guess it's definitely possible.
Imagine being that guy.
I just personally thinking myself, like, as the production manager, as a guy who's involved in things like that, how much would you have to pay me to give up to fuck up the integrity of what I'm working so hard towards, right? Like, ultimately, the video product is like what I take the most pride in, and I want that to be the best it could be.
Okay, listen.
So, like, it's basically like, how much does it cost to sell out?
Absolutely.
Well,
that's what
much,
it is.
you know what I mean?
That's what it is.
And, like, everybody's got their number.
Everyone has their
Everyone's
number.
got their number.
Everyone's
Game of
got their
Thrones
number.
or whoever it is. If you come to me with $10 million.
Mike, what is change? So Kevin wants in on this conversation so bad. No, okay, peep game like this. So this is what happens. They say, all right, what's up? What's up, Val? Listen, I was thinking a little bit, me and you, we get paid a little bit, but, I was just thinking, this is, you're going to get hired on these other shows. You just produced 9 seasons. It's amazing. So what if we, just put that cup right there? Okay, we're just going to put it right there. No one's going to say anything. We'll say it's a fuck up, all right? And then this check, we'll take this check, and, that's going to be maybe $350 million straight from Starbucks. It's all good. I mean, you're going to get taxed on that. It's all good, but, you're already hired on these other shows. Val, just put the cup there. That's all you got to do. Just put the cup down. Who's not going to do that?
Sure.
Who's not going to do that?
For that kind of money, sure. But why would Starbucks, the Starbucks need to pay $350 million to, how much did it boost their popularity?
Dude, a lot.
Did it?
How
really?
many sales did they get off that?
That's short-lived, though, right? I'd imagine.
Short-lived,
the hype,
but so was the ad. And no, listen.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, if you're Starbucks, you spend $350 million and it spikes your sales by 20% over the next 60 days. Bro. You can make that $300 million back, I guess, or all those stores and
absolutely
worldwide.
Absolutely.
I suppose that seems crazy to me. You could do so much more.
Did they
with that money?
Did they retweet it? That's the whole thing.
Right.
If they retweeted it, they did it. They fucking did it.
Right. But you want a viral campaign? You could just be like, I think it's North Dakota. Did you see their meth campaign, anti-meth campaign that they're doing?
No.
I'm pretty sure it's North Dakota.
If it's not North Dakota, you're fucked.
Look this up. I'm not sure. It's one of those North something states in America, and they came out with this new ad. It's an anti-meth ad.
Okay.
But it's all about meth is a problem. We have to tackle it now, and it's we're on it. But the ad slogan says meth. We're on it. And it's none of you motherfuckers caught this, but they only spent $400,000 and it went viral and everybody's going bananas. So it's do you need to spend $350 million? You just need to do something stupid and get it on camera. Really, you know what I mean? And
I understand.
It definitely could be possible. I suppose it could be possible. It'd be
yeah,
crazy to me to think though.
No,
that actually happened. I think it's just a fuck up. I think. Those days, 15, 16-hour days, long days. The editors are working overtime.
Man. Okay.
They're shooting and reshooting and cutting and recutting and editing it. And it got missed. And then the internet blows it up and it gets blown out of proportion. And then Starbucks and whatever, they fucking roll with it.
Yeah, they're like,
this is free advertising. These dumb motherfuckers think it's a Starbucks cup. It's just a white cup. It wasn't even ours. It's we're going to go to the bank with this shit, man. These guys are so stupid. And the marketing guys at Starbucks, they're just having a field day with it. They're like, tell them it was us. Tell them it was Starbucks. Fucking Photoshop the logo on that thing. Zoom in. And it wasn't even Starbucks. It's
do what you got to do, man.
Yeah. It's everything is 3-dimensional chess now.
Yeah,
so
is.
It's even if something happens that has nothing to do with you, you can use it and spin it in a PR move and then make it seem like it was all on you. And then it's that's all it takes is a young genius kid with a good idea who's sees the potential in this fuck up.
Yeah.
So it's I don't think it was anything. I think it was just a fuck up. And then
and here we are.
The internet just blows it all out of proportion,
Still
right? The
talking
littlest
about
thing
it.
gets blown out of proportion and then
And we're still talking
We're
about
still
it.
talking
We're
about
still
it.
talking
We're still
about
talking
it, man.
about it.
Like,
So
you know,
it was like, yeah. So whose fault is that? Is that intentional, or is that the internet just like being the internet?
the internet being the
Yeah,
internet. Yeah,
people like.
yeah. I don't know. The internet has a weird way of being the internet.
Yeah, well, a few of the right people have to retweet it, and then like that's it, and then everybody runs with it.
Boom.
If like some celebrity I like that I follow thinks this,
Yeah,
then I'm gonna jump on that train.
I'm gonna think that too.
I'm gonna jump on that train, and I'm gonna get those
Crazy.
likes, because like if he thinks that, and he got 150,000 likes, then maybe I can get 1,000.
Bam.
You know, or maybe whatever, because like we're on the same page, he and I. You know, it's silly shit like that.
So we're having this debate. We're having this debate at this, like, it's not, it's like, it's a nice it's the nicest restaurant.
It's the nicest place on Hornby Island.
It's the nicest place
hands
on, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I grew up, I remember how we got to this story in the first place. We're going to get back to that. Anyways. So we're sitting there, we have this conversation. Val gets heated, as you know, like what you just heard is probably like 0.1% of where he can get to.
Yeah, I'm really trying to control myself.
Anyway, so we're talking. He gets up, and then like people start looking over, and I know everybody in the restaurant. I haven't been back home in a while. And they're like, "Who the fuck is this guy Josh is bringing to the island?" Right? And then he starts going, and then then Kev's like, you know, we're sitting there. He's like, yo, like, chill out. And he's like, nah, I'm not gonna chill out. Walks out, just walks out of the restaurant.
I just went to the bathroom.
Yeah, but it looked like you walked out of the restaurant because the bathroom's right by the door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just walked out, and then, but right before that conversation, you know, Kev had ordered shots, and so you know he comes back, we dap it up, it's all good, and then we just take shots and start bullshitting again.
That's the thing about me, like, if you ever happen to run into me and we get into some shit, like, and we arguing about something, it's gonna sound like I'm yelling at you. It's going to sound that way. Just know I'm not really that angry.
Like
I cannot control this. This is a part of who I am that's like I have fought tooth and nail. Like I am I'm just angry. I was born that way. I was an angry kid. I used to get into fights, just like throw shit at people. I was crazy. Throw fits. Like I've thrown chairs at my teachers, like got in a fight, like I was just crazy.
Crazy shit.
Just was wild, ill-tempered, right? And I've really, really like over the years, I've gotten much better at like controlling myself. But it comes out.
But every once in a while.
Yeah, and so like for the most part now, like I don't get into fights, I don't hit people, I don't throw shit, but I raise my voice and I get loud and passionate and about shit. And so like, and to me, it's like, if you do not have that much, like that passion to what you're saying,
yeah,
I don't fucking believe you, bro. You're just telling me stuff. There's no emotion behind it. I don't believe you mean it.
You're just telling me shit.
You're just telling me stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know you're real. When I tell you shit and I'm like
real.
this, you know I mean it.
Yeah.
At the very least, you know I mean it. Like, you know I'm not trying to I'm not pulling the wool over your eyes. I'm not saying this to get a rise out of you. I'm not saying this because I want to start some shit. I'm saying this because this is what I believe.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to know I think.
100%.
And that's it.
Over like the littlest shit.
It's overly aggressive sometimes, and I apologize for that. There's not much I can do. I try. It doesn't work out that well. You know, I really, really try. I try to be calm. I try to be collected. I try to be like, because I feel like most of the time when I have an opinion on something, it's well thought out, at least.
Right.
At least on my point. It might not be well researched, or I don't have all these.
Oh, no, you listen to 4 or 5 podcasts on that subject, you know.
So like I'm usually not just like saying shit that I like heard somebody say once. Like I'm usually like try to see things from both sides and kind of develop my own perspective, and then that's why I say things, and that's why I believe the things I believe, because like I've come to these conclusions on my own. And if you wanna, because a lot of people just like hear shit and they're like, okay, that's what I think about this now. But they don't believe that idea. That's not, they didn't really take it in. They didn't really absorb it. They didn't really like.
They just regurgitated it.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, some smart guy said this thing that I agree with.
Yeah.
So now,
this
is my
idea.
soundbite for whenever this topic of conversation comes up.
I'm just going to put that on
so
my Rolodex.
So I can sound smart like he sounded smart.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why I don't fuck with sports anymore. Because no one can have an opinion. Like, I still fuck with sports, but like in terms of like engaging in debates, where it's like, no, listen, like, so basketball, right, for instance, or MMA, it's like, no, you're just saying that because Stephen A. Smith said that one time, and now you're regurgitating
Well, I mean,
it.
sure.
How are you going to have your own opinions?
But you should get your information from the experts. Stephen A. Smith is very good at what he does.
Sure, but it's his opinion.
Right.
It's his opinion. It's his angle.
So you should listen to him, and then you should listen to
the other fucking guy.
and you should look for yourself and
But
kind
it's
of
that last part.
your
That
own-
last part's too hard.
Well, what do you mean?
For
Especially
most
with
people.
something when it comes to sports, like it's all numbers. Like you could see it. Like LeBron's the greatest player of all time. Okay, why?
Yeah.
Show me, like, give me the numbers.
Yeah.
And like, okay, he scored this many points. He played this many games. He's done this. He's been in this many playoff games. He's got this many rings.
Yeah, all this
blah,
type
blah,
of
blah, blah,
shit.
whatever you can give me. But most people don't know those things. They're like, he's the best because he's the best because he jumps the highest and he looks amazing when he's dunking on people. Like,
Okay, sure.
yeah, okay. There's other criteria and there's other ways to like really formulate. But then again, with something like that, it's kind of so arbitrary.
Even if you go the numbers route, there's so much on the basketball court that is not captured in analytics. Like what team room chemistry, what's going on in the locker, is there mentorship there? How does he work with the assistant coaches? Does he know the plays? That shit doesn't come up in the numbers,
but
bro.
that doesn't mean you're great or not.
100%.
No, it doesn't.
Whoa.
Jordan was notoriously a dick to all his teammates.
Right.
And disliked widely through the league.
But he was a leader.
And there's no argument that he's one of the greatest. If not the greatest.
Yeah, 100%.
He's my greatest.
Yeah, well, because you grew up in an era, 100%. Like there's kids.
I'm even a little young for that.
You are a little young for that, for sure. I mean,
Well,
like, I'm gonna say Kobe's the greatest because I grew up in that era because I'm drunk off Kobe. But all I'm saying,
I was a Kobe guy too.
for sure.
Kobe and Vince Carter are my guys. But I still think Jordan was the best.
Okay, fair enough. But all I'm saying is that they had leadership qualities. They may be super negative and like detrimental, but they still won fucking 6 rings.
Yeah, but I don't think just because they had those leadership qualities, they would, even if they didn't have those, they would have been great.
Okay, so LeBron opens up a school in Akron, right?
Sure.
Throws however many
he's
million.
in his philanthropy
That doesn't
bag.
make him a good player.
No.
Just the way that just because Kobe didn't, that doesn't make him a bad player.
Right.
Like LeBron has a positive leadership style. Kobe and Jordan had negative leadership styles. They motivated. That's why I'm such an asshole. Like 100%, 100%. And so that doesn't make them any less or any greater of a leader. But if you look at like what it took to win, will to win, obsession, what makes someone the greatest player, like Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, I'm the greatest. What made him the greatest?
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Well, I mean, first and foremost is body of work. Like you have to like,
Okay.
especially with something like that, with boxing and MMA, it's like, who did he beat to get to where he got?
Okay.
So that's very black and white.
What was his record?
I
Couldn't
don't
tell
know
you.
that off the top of my.
Me neither. I don't know.
He's got the famous fight with Sonny Liston and Foreman and whatever.
Right.
But so with MMA and boxing, it's kind of black and white. Like, what did he do to get to where he was? And like,
Okay.
So like, but with basketball, there's no. I guess it's pretty black and white with basketball.
No, it's
too.
fucking not. Here's why. Bill Russell, 11 fucking rings.
Yeah.
11 rings.
So people don't talk about it because it's just so old, and it's like, yeah.
You fuck around and win 11 championships.
But that's
Nobody
when
won in like those decades.
The league wasn't the same then. The Celtics were so dominant. Is no team like it was just not even fair.
Right.
That was not a competitive league. It's like if the Raptors went down to the NCAA and won 10 years in a row, and it's like, well, of course they won. They're not in the same league. Like things back then were so lopsided. It's just like, you know what I mean. And
but
then
that's
those 11 rings are the reason the NBA is so competitive now. Like all those things, the lottery and all those things that they implemented later to even out the league and the first draft picks for like the final place teams, all that type of shit, or to keep things even.
balance. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Zion goes to New Orleans because they suck ass.
Yeah.
And then he blows his fucking knee out or
Did he
whatever.
blow his knee out?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
out.
shit.
He's out. I don't know if he's back yet,
Fuck.
but he was out for the first many weeks of the season. He got paid $100 million. He didn't even fucking touch a ball yet.
That's the
and
best.
now he's
That's the
fucking
best.
blowing his
That's
knee
the
out. I
best.
love it.
That's the
These
best.
kids, they pay them so much money, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Like the contracts don't have to keep getting bigger. Why does this keep happening? Like they just keep throwing more and more money at these people, and it's like, you don't need to make more than $20 million a year playing basketball. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, bro.
That's enough.
There's a lot of diminishing returns for sure. I was just listening to this podcast called the Happiness Lab, and they were talking about how like the difference between, for instance, the different, like, if you like, so it was, there was a study commissioned, I think it was by Duke University, and it was the premise was, does money directly correlate to standard of living or happiness at the end of the day? Happiness, right? Standard of living for sure, but happiness, right?
Right, anything over like 75 grand is
that's
like,
exactly the number.
Bullshit, man.
Dude, hold up. So it's like if you go from 20,000 to 30,000, your life is way better. You go from 30,000 to 40, it's way better again. But again, once you get past, I think it's anywhere from 75,000 to 140,000, it's law of diminishing returns.
Nonsense.
Okay, so sure, but even if you believe that, hold on. If you're a millionaire, for instance, you're a millionaire.
Right.
Okay, right? 1 million to 1.5, what's the difference? Listen, in terms of investments.
Yeah. The bigger sums mean less the further you go up the ladder. That's
for sure.
Fine. But you don't think your life gets exponentially better if you go from 75 grand a year to $1 million a year?
Okay, yeah. At those, I mean, that's a huge difference.
Well, yes.
That's
but
huge.
that's what they're saying. They're like, anything above this is basically like, it's fine. You make enough money. It's like, no, like, I need to get to a point where I have enough to take care of my bills.
Right.
I can enjoy myself and spoil myself a little bit.
Right.
I can take care of my family.
Hold up. You talking dinners and vacation.
Whatever your desires are.
Okay,
right. It's different for everybody.
Right. Right.
So it's like, for me, I probably don't need 10 million a year to be happy. Like, I'm not crazy. Like, I don't need fucking diamond chains and Bugattis and shit. Like, I don't. That's I would like one. But that's not.
You don't need it.
That'd be far down my list of purchases, right?
Right.
So like, but I'm not. I made 75 grand a year.
Right.
I made 85 grand a year.
So it's like
It's not enough. It's not enough. I'm telling you right now, not for the way I want to live my life.
Okay. So what's the number? What's your number?
I don't know.
You haven't hit it yet.
No.
What is it, 150? 150?
At least.
Dog, at 150, listen, you get the new car, you get the new apartment, you get the new
but
house.
I don't want just the new car. I want
the newest.
I want an SUV. I want like a drop top.
You
I want
just
my
wasteful,
classic.
bro.
I want a place to fit them all. I want a boat. I want a truck to tow that boat. You know what I mean? Like
that's
I want
a lot of shit.
Yeah, I want
man.
shit like that. That's what I want. But it's like what I need to get there. Okay, it's definitely not 10 million a year. So it's attainable.
Okay, so hold on. Let's take this same concept. No car to one car.
I got no car right now.
You feeling good living? Your car's still ain't working, bro? Shit, goddamn.
No, I have a car. Yeah, it's not functional at the moment. But it's there. It's sitting there.
Right. So you go from 0 cars to 1 car. That's big time. That's big time.
What a life-changing thing that is, man. I could not wait to start driving. I remember, man, when I was like 16, I'm like, I'm buying a fucking car as soon as I could buy a car.
As soon as you
Yeah, and then as soon as I turned 18, like, I had a little bit of money saved up, and my grandparents were like, we'll give you some money for your birthday and graduation.
Nice.
I'm like,
bam.
Time to buy a car.
What'd you buy?
I bought a 1998 Hyundai Tiburon.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like the fucking Batmobile, dude. It was dope. I loved that car so much. It was super clean. It was standard.
Oh, nice.
6-speed transmission. What did I have? 5-speed. 5-speed transmission. And it was like all wired up for subs. It was nice. I mean, it's a Hyundai. It wasn't anything crazy. It was like $6,000 or $7,000. But it was my first car. And I loved it.
All I'm saying, that one car, that's a lot of happiness.
Dude,
that
car brought me so much joy, and then I totaled it 2 months later, and I still miss that car. I still miss that car.
The one that got away.
10 years ago.
The one that got away. The one that got away.
I love that car so much.
Okay, so 1 car to 2 cars. I'm gonna say that's less than half the amount of happiness that you got from the first car.
Maybe. Depends how much you love cars, how much you love driving.
Okay, I'm talking about you. Fuck, man.
Me, I love driving.
Okay, sure.
So if I had like a garage full of cars, every time I got in the different car, I would feel ecstatic. There's nothing I love more than driving around, music blasting, windows down, like a nice summer night.
Yeah.
Just like whatever. Probably burning one.
Probably
That's
burning
always fun. Don't smoke and drive, kids. It's fun. But like, there's nothing I love more than that. So like, for me, that would be like the ultimate. Like, just like go down to my garage and be like, which one am I taking out today? You know what I mean?
Okay.
That would be. I would think it would make me so happy just to have the option. You know.
So at what number is it like? Nah.
Right.
Is it 4 to
like
5?
Like if you're Floyd Mayweather
is it
and you have
5 to
50
6?
cars.
57 versus 58. Who
Yeah.
cares?
No, at some point it gets pointless. But then
Right.
I think I'd get bored and I'd move on to other shit.
So all I'm saying here is I think that you think that number is like maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 around there. You'd be like, what's another?
Yeah, probably.
Right? I think that number is honestly probably around like 3 or 4.
You could be right.
I bet that's it because it's like I just think it's law of diminishing returns.
Then why is there guys out there with 50 cars, 100 cars?
Small dick syndrome, man. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
We need
but what
that.
about uber successful guys who still do that, like Seinfeld and Leno and shit? They're avid car collectors.
I've never seen their dick, so.
But who cares?
Right.
They're so successful, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean? Like, they've achieved everything. And in their field of work, like, they're comedians. They're like, Seinfeld is the most successful fucking sitcom of all time. He's a monster headliner. He made hundreds of millions of dollars doing comedy. But he's got this love and passion for Porsches. And that's his thing. Like, he just collects them. And every time he buys a new one, I bet he gets this big fucking smile on his face, and he drives it around, and he's just like a pig in shit, man. He's so happy to just like drive his new Porsche around. That's just what he loves, man. That's what drives him. It's like he loves those cars, and he's got everything he wants, so he spends money on cars. You know what I mean?
How do you think Elon Musk feels when he invents a new Tesla?
He's a weird guy, though.
Okay, sure. Have you seen that new truck, the Cybertruck? What do you think, bro?
The drawings and the renderings and the photos are kind of ugly, but then you see it in like a functional setting with like an ATV on the back and the ramp down and the windows down, and you're like, okay. And then you see the interior and you're like, okay, like I'm getting this. Like, I kind of like it.
Right.
He went they released this like rendering, and it was really dope and it looked cool, and then it's not at all what the truck looks like.
Nah.
And so people are probably just kind of pissed. But they'll get over it.
Yeah. So
And then
like,
when they realize it's such a bargain,
it's such a bargain.
yeah, they're like going to like 40,000 American, like brand new.
And it's got it's a quicker 0 to 60. It's got a bigger payload, all this type of shit,
yeah,
right?
and so I mean, they're great. Like I'm sure they'll be cool. Taking them camping and shit's a problem.
Why?
Because if you go down in the bush, there's no fucking superchargers in the bush, Joss.
Bro, there's a solar panel on the back. There's a solar panel on the back.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay. If you can drive it out there and then leave it parked for several days and it's summer, what if you want to go in the winter and you're not getting that kind of sunshine?
I don't know about all that.
Whatever.
Listen, I don't know about. Listen, I'm
This
I don't know
electric
about.
shit has a lot of pitfalls that like I've still yet to be like reconciled.
How does
like,
gas not have the same pitfalls? There's no fucking gas stations.
because I can fill up my tank and I know how far exactly I can go on that tank.
It's the same thing with electric. You know how far you can go.
Except for you can go a quarter of the way on electric, maybe. Right?
Okay, I don't know.
You know,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Maybe a little more, but I know like, let's see. For example, in my car, I could probably do 600 or 700 kilometers on the highway on a tank of gas.
Bro, the new Cybertruck is 800 kilometers range. Is 800 kilometers range. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Now we're talking.
Now, like,
That's
I'm just
some
saying.
distance. Because if you could do 800, that's like what you're going to do in a day. Well, I mean, I've done...
Hell no, dude. That's insane. Dude, I would...
Well, what do you mean? I've done Edmonton to here 10, 20 times in my
Holy
lifetime.
shit.
That's 13 hours. It's 1,300 kilometers. Like you.
Okay, so you got to stop once to charge up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's not bad.
Yeah,
That's not terrible at all. I mean, with the gas, I had to stop once for gas only. And the only difference is it takes me 5 minutes to fill up my car, and it's going to take you 30 plus minutes to supercharge.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the only downfall. But that's not... In the grand scheme of things, if you're traveling all
Grab
day,
a coffee, have a smoke.
yeah,
do what
exactly.
you
If
wanna
you're
do.
traveling all day and you have to lose a half an hour to charge the thing and save the planet,
And you'd
by all
probably
fucking
want to
means.
go for a walk anyway. So you know what? Anyways,
Yeah, you want to stretch your legs out. You can stop for lunch. You could do all that. That's fine. Like I'm totally cool with that. 800 kilometers is a good range.
That's a
Before
good
they were
range.
going like 200 miles, 300 miles,
yeah.
and that's like conservative driving. If you're
Yeah.
highway driving and you're hammering on it because you want to do $120, you want to do $130.
Oh, you have, yeah, for sure.
You're not gonna fucking do 90 on the highway like the signs are posted.
No, you're not.
Bullshit.
You're not gonna.
You know what I mean? Nobody does that.
So like
So-
I used to do Comox Valley to Victoria and back all the time, right? And then that's not feasible. It used to not be feasible in electric, right? But now it 100% is. So at the end of the day, are you in or you out? New Cybertruck.
I'm in.
You're in?
I'm in.
That's
Yeah,
what's
I
up.
love it. I think it's cool. I think it's dope. I think it looks great. I think Tesla is like really just spitting in the face of all these people. He's like, it can't be done.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be done. He's like, fucking, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
He's like, look, I did it.
Yeah.
I did it, and I did it on the cheap.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even that expensive. They're not outrageous. $100,000, it's not outrageous.
No,
People are paying that for Beamers and Mercedes and this.
That's a luxury car. It's a luxury car. It's a luxury car. It's a luxury car.
It's not meant to be, though. The whole idea is it's supposed to be attainable for the average.
No.
That was the whole thing.
The Aston Martin looking one, that's a luxury vehicle.
Yeah, well,
100%.
the bi
But
motor
the 3, that's a $35,000 American.
right, and they're selling well. But they didn't do well at first, but now they're selling well.
And the truck's gonna listen. The truck's coming out, I think 2021, something that you can
what they're
pre-order right now.
saying, yeah.
And like, so listen, people are gonna see it right now and be like, I don't know what that is.
They're gonna sell out pre-order. Like they'll go. There's enough people with money, and there's enough people who like just want to be the cool. It's like iPhone 11. There's people lining up on the door to get an iPhone 11. Why?
Dude,
It'll be here tomorrow. It'll be here next week. Why? Why do you have to be the first one to get it?
I understand.
But they just must. They have to be the first ones in it, and it's gonna pre-sell. And he's gonna be like, "We're only making this many," and people will buy them like hotcakes and be like, "Guess what? We're making more." Like,
and we're jacking the price, whatever it is.
But then again, there's arguments to be made. That shit's just as bad. The lithium and all that
the batteries and all this type
all
of
that
stuff.
stuff is the conflict minerals.
We haven't figured out how to recycle those things
none
yet.
of it's good. It's like, okay, petroleum from Saudi Arabia where they use slave labor, that's not good.
And they ship it.
And then, well, the lithium ion for your batteries for your Tesla is mined by children in the Congo.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
People don't know
No one
that.
says that.
They
No.
cut their arms off for it. It's like, well,
100%.
Yeah, it's not much better, but at least it's electric. At the grand scheme of things, like, okay,
it's a net positive. At the end of the day, it's a net positive.
and all we have to do is like the next step, which she's doing also, is like mine asteroids. You got those rockets; they can go and come back. You got to send them over there. You got to mine asteroids. You got to bring those mineral resources back to Earth because we can't just deplete the planet of everything.
Exactly.
But we can get those. They're abundant
that shit from
everywhere.
moon or
Shit's
wherever
everywhere.
it is.
There's an asteroid belt, like just outside, like just past Mars, or between Mars and Jupiter or whatever the next planet is, and I think it's Jupiter. Anyways. And it's a fucking giant asteroid belt, and there's anything you could think of.
All the minerals you need.
Yeah, there's just
all
asteroids made
metals.
out of everything.
Yeah,
they're right. They're not that far away. We've gone to Mars already.
You think we can get it? Oh my god, could you imagine we start mining asteroid
That's
fields?
the way to do it. You can bring them. You can wrangle them in and put them on like a trajectory.
You can wrangle them
yeah,
in.
dude. Like you can like. You bring them into the orbit, so they orbit the Earth in a certain way, and then you can access them and mine them for their resources, and then they'll just orbit.
I don't know about all that, man.
Dude, it's talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson about it. And he's the one who was talking about it. I didn't even just make this shit up. I'm no physicist, but it's doable. Apparently,
Right.
He's saying that's what we should do. We should all the resources, everything we've ever needed is out there.
All right,
We just have to find a way to get it.
right, because of the enormity of the universe, right?
Just the abundance of all these things that we need, like they're out there and they're abundant. All these things are available.
Yeah.
They're readily available.
The universe is infinite.
Like Earth is finite, but everything else is
totally.
it's all out there.
Which is it's gonna be a crazy paradigm shift. Like when we do get to that point where it's like, no, there's everything everywhere, and like we'll have fucking light speed technology, whatever it may be. Like, go blast over there and go get that.
Hopefully,
no problem.
Yeah.
So then, like, I don't know. The big question is like, well, who owns it, right? So like, China.
Whoever had the balls to go out there and get it.
Okay, so China's. Listen, I don't know.
Here's the thing. What do you mean who owns it? It's like, okay.
Who owns it? That's what I mean. Who
owns the mine that's fucking digging up some company?
Yeah.
But this is the planet. Why do you own a piece of the planet? Because
100%.
you went there first.
So what about the
and
moon?
You took it.
What about the moon? Is that America's moon?
Well, no. You can't own the moon.
Well, that's what you just
But
said.
you can mine it for resources.
You just said who the fuck owns the resource, the company that's there? Well, the USA is the company that's there.
Well, yeah, but you can't own the whole moon, just like you can't own the whole Earth, but you can own a chunk of it and you can mine it
Who
for
the fuck?
resources.
Dude, you can't own the whole universe, but you can own a planet. Why not? You can't own the whole asteroid field, but you can own the whole asteroid? Why? What's the difference? It's just scale.
If you're willing to take the risk and put your time and efforts and money into going out to procure it, then you should get ownership of it. I'm fine with that.
Right. So, but still, listen, the USA is first on the moon. all of a sudden China's on the dark side of the moon mining shit. I don't know. That's just some deep dark web shit.
Were they mining shit? I thought they just landed a rover.
No, I thought they were mining stuff and bringing it back.
they're probably taking samples, but I think
they're mining it, dude.
I didn't hear that.
Listen. This is
commiserating with the aliens.
This is unconfirmed. This is some unconfirmed shit here, but I'm putting this in. I work in the financial industry, so I also listen to Joe Rogan, so that makes me qualified. So, China's on the dark side of the moon mining the finite minerals that we put in our phones, right? So the advanced, or the, whatever it is. It's not, what the fuck is
the
called?
Earth even made out of that? Or is the moon even made out of that shit?
Yeah. The moon is from the Earth. The moon split from the Earth. Ask Neil. Ask your buddy Neil.
Yeah, supposedly it's a big asteroidal impact, and
yeah, and now it's in the gravitational pull, right?
But it seems to have doesn't it have a different makeup in terms of the surface?
No, but it has, but it still has the same precious metals that we mine from the Earth. Okay. So here's the thing. So, supposedly China's on the dark side of the moon. I'm gonna get so many DMs about this conversation. This would be fucking hilarious. China's on the dark side of the moon, landing rovers, mining shit, and sending it back to China through the International Space Station, whatever it may be, right? Okay, they're sending it back. At the same time, in China, guess what President Xi, XI, the fuck, how do you say his name? I don't know. I apologize. He's just accelerated China's economy and set up the financial infrastructure for futures contracts, stock options, et cetera, on finite metals. So he's setting up the financial infrastructure to be a world leader in these things that is finite on Earth, abundant other places. All of a sudden, they're on the dark side of the moon mining this shit. I don't know. I'm just saying. But if you just take the stuff that we know is happening, because we see it in the news, and we see it happening in our economics and our politics, and then you take all this weird shit that we be hearing from different sources saying yo, what's that guy, Alex Jones or whatever?
Alex Jones.
That's a whole nother thing. But you take these, whether it's Neil deGrasse Tyson, his other astrophysicists, et cetera, you take that, you kind of just put all this information together, you come to some pretty crazy conclusions, That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we've yet have the technology. I don't think China has the technology to go to the moon, mine it, and bring back a big payload. Because it's difficult to get people there and bring them back, and then to get robots there and then get them to mine it and then bring back a big payload that's worth anything. Because you have to bring back thousands of pounds, the tons of whatever, dirt, earth, moon, rock to make it worthwhile. Because you got to dig through it and find whatever you're looking for. So I just don't think that's viable. Yeah, it costs them $10,000 a pound to get water into space, so the astronauts could have water. $10,000. Yeah, that's what again Neil deGrasse Tyson said. So he's that's about what it costs, in terms of rocket fuel and engineering to add the extra things we need to add the weight of the water, so astronauts can brush their teeth and do whatever up there and drink water. That's what it costs. To bring something back that's much heavier than what Earth, I don't know if that's possible yet. So I don't think that's true.
I don't know. I
think China just wanted to go to the moon and see what the fuck is up and do research.
The moon is up, bro. That's just that's it. That's just listen. I don't think that we take CRISPR, right?
Yeah, that shit is weird.
CRISPR technology, right? So gene DNA editing. I think that I truly think that the top scientists and the top organizations in the world are just way more ahead than we realize. And I think that the marginal cost of these technologies is actually way lower than what we realize, right?
Well, I suppose. We put value on whatever, so it's whatever we say it is, basically.
Okay, good point.
You know what I mean? So it's but aerospace exploration and this and that, it's so dangerous, and it's most of that money spent on research and development. It's not it costs $10 billion to put a rocket into space, but it does cost $10 billion to figure out how to do it over time. We have to hire the best aerospace engineers and the best physicists and the best, scientists of all these different, and we have to bring them all together, and then we have to develop all these materials, and then we have to test them, and then they don't work, and then we have to develop them again, and then we have to retest them.
Okay, I understand.
Calculate and this, and then we finally get it built, and then
by the end of the day,
and then it costs $1 billion fucking dollars, and they're well, this costs $1.8 billion, and everybody's
how does that cost?
It's $1,000 worth of metal.
Yeah.
And like, what the
Yeah.
fuck are you talking about? But it's
Yeah.
like, it took 10,000 people to make this happen.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what
no,
I mean?
I understand what
like
you're saying.
that's how. So we assign value to things that way, but it's not. That's not really what it's worth. It's like the development, the process of getting there.
Well, like, what's
Cost 10
information?
billion.
What's information worth? Like, that's what
That's
it
the
comes
thing.
down
Information is priceless. I mean, it's worth everything.
to. It's worth it.
If you know shit, you can execute in a way that people who don't know shit have no chance, right? So information is everything. That's why companies are mining data, and they're giving you all this free shit.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we want your data.
We need your data.
That information
Is worth
means everything
everything.
to us.
Yeah.
And we don't want your fucking dollar here and dollar there.
Yeah, no one
and
gives a
fuck,
shit.
Fuck you. Here, it's free.
Yeah.
Take it, stupid.
Yeah.
Give us the numbers.
Yeah. Tell us
Give
what
us
you
the
like,
data.
how you like, when you
Yeah,
like it.
Shop here.
Yeah.
Listen to music here,
Yeah.
so I can watch you and I can get all the knowledge.
Okay.
I need to know what you're doing and why you're doing it and when you're doing it, so I can sell you shit and push you this way. And
Because that's where the money's at. That's where the money's at. 100%.
information is power.
Data. I heard somewhere.
Data is just information in
Yeah.
a specific medium.
100%. So I heard that data is actually the most expensive commodity on earth now. Like, in terms of like what data is worth. Like the
Okay.
like,
I mean, I believe that.
one person's data, how much is that worth? Like, there's actually metrics out there for that, right? There are.
I think it's one of those situations where it's like individually we're worthless. Like you can market to me all day,
Yeah.
and it's only a little bit's gonna get through.
But 100 of us in a room.
yes, and
Yeah.
then you have to influence people as a group. Like if
Right.
if you try to target one person, you're not gonna get much out of that.
Yeah,
one
it's not about
person.
targeting
You might
one
land
person.
that person, but you know how it is. It's like anything else. It's success rate. Like if I pump this shit out, this ad or whatever, to 1,000 people, it's probably gonna be like 10%
Yeah,
success rate.
okay,
right?
yeah.
So one person is worthless, but as a group, we're worth everything.
So okay, yeah, you know that, you have that knowledge, you have that information. How do you exist in the ecosystem of today? You got Spotify, you listen to podcasts,
do.
non-spons.
I do,
So it's
yeah.
like, what are you
I
gonna
skip
do?
all the ads. I hate the ads, but like no, they're an unnecessary thing, and it's part of it, and I get it.
So data mining is a necessary thing.
Well,
It is. Without data mining,
Oh,
you're not getting all your
everything-
customized shit.
Yeah, all the things can be done without it, just not as efficiently, right? The problem is they use a lot of this data mining for like nefarious bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nefarious bullshit.
And instead of like just trying to like sell you cookies or whatever, they're like leading you down a path to see things that are gonna like get you angry because that makes you engage more, and then the more you engage, the more like clicks go on this page, and the more clicks go on this page, the more they can sell advertising revenue. So it's like they wield their power in such shitty ways that it's like it makes you despise, but it's not. It's nefarious unintentionally.
Yeah.
I feel like because it's like
Oh, is it unintentionally?
sometimes for the most part.
Dude,
You know what I
what
mean?
was that-
Some
what,
people are intentionally trying to fuck with people. For the most part, people are just trying to get you to engage and be a part of their thing, whatever the fuck they're doing,
Until
or
it's-
buy the shit that they're selling.
Until it's Cambridge Analytica. You see
Okay.
that whole shit? You see that?
I heard a little bit about it. I'm not too
Okay.
like informed.
The
about-
Great Hack. It's on Netflix. You should watch
Yeah.
it. The Great Hack. Anyways,
Yeah, I should watch it. So it's not like it is nefarious but not for the most part. Like I think most of these people are just like, we're in the business of selling shit, and
Yeah.
we need to figure out who's buying it and who's our demographic.
Yeah.
And then when we get that information, we pump that shit out to our demographic,
and we'll sell more.
That's
Yeah.
not nefarious. That's good business.
Okay.
Right? But there are shady people who find ways to use this kind of like backdoor ways.
Okay.
And so
Let me give you
it's
an
like
example.
anything else. There's good and bad of everything.
Okay, there's good and bad of everything
The
for
yin
sure.
and the yang, you
But it's
know?
like, what is? Okay, yeah, okay.
The black and the white is the great aspects. I get my shit on Amazon. I think about I need a new fucking thing for my kitchen, and it shows
Bam.
up. I can advertise it for it. It's like, well, this is crazy. I mean, it's cheap and it's affordable, and I can have it here in a day. Like that's amazing. Like those are all good things.
Right,
that
right.
It makes my life easier for the most part. But
Okay.
There's definitely ways to use that.
But here's
to
the
my
thing.
disadvantage.
Marketing shapes the way we think, right? So like who?
I would hope not.
Who? It fucking does. It 100% does. Listen, prime example. Who raises you? Who, like, as a child in today's society, who raises you? Your mom, your dad,
TV.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. Yeah.
And probably
For
Snapchat.
us, it was TV.
For us,
Now
it's TV.
It's Instagram.
Like, who raised me? Okay, I didn't have like very engaged parents. Okay, who the fuck raised me? Will Smith raised me on the fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Let me tell you, okay? You want to know how I learned how to be a man and how I ultimately learned how to be a father? Philip Banks, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like marketing and advertisement, commercials and content shape the way that we think. So that's what's the word you use? Nefarious?
Yeah.
It's a gangster word. I'm adding that to my Rolodex. So that's where it becomes nefarious, is that you start to craft someone's thought pattern.
But it wasn't before. It wasn't the advertising that got to us. It was the show, the content. Like we resonated with the show. The commercials annoyed us.
But now I can, I understand. But now I can run an algorithm. I can run a fucking algorithm and say, okay, this person has all of these interests, all of these likes, because I know that they're motivated in these 3 ways, and here are their core values. I'm going to feed them this piece of content, and to complement that piece of content, because it's going to be in this specific sort of mood and thinking this a specific sort of way, I can then backdoor that and find that I'm going to create anxiety through this piece of content. I have the direct solution right there.
Yeah.
That's some nefarious shit.
Yeah. There's ways to do it that are shitty and backhanded and trick people into whatever. The problem with that is that works on people. Like, this shouldn't work.
Works on everybody.
But no, it doesn't. There's plenty of people who are not influenced by it. There's plenty of people like I think everybody's influenced to a certain extent.
Right.
How far do you let it burrow into your psyche? Like, how much do you let it affect you? I don't think it affects me that much. I don't think I'm on Instagram that much. I'm not that involved, engrossed in the social media world. I don't post a lot.
Right.
I don't care about my engagement.
But
I don't.
No,
I don't do things
on social. But there's other mediums that you are fucking engaged in.
like what?
Streaming services, podcasts, Netflix,
But that's just
Conflicts.
for my own entertainment.
But they still gonna get you through that one. They say Instagram is just for your own entertainment.
Right. Well, yeah, but most people don't use Instagram that way. That's how I use it. It's just as entertainment and like to somewhat connect with people and whatever. I don't use it much for that. But most people use it because they want attention and they want likes and they want that dopamine.
Again, which is getting, they're using dopamine
that's
as a
what
fucking...
they want, but that's not what I want from it. That's not what I'm getting from it. So like, I don't think it works on me the same way, but I'm not
the average
that
person.
average. Yeah, I guess not. For whatever reason, it just doesn't. Like, I'm just pretty anti-technology. Like, I wish I didn't need it all.
100%. I definitely, I think for me, like, I don't, like, so I'm like you, I'm like, okay, they're minding my shit. I still need these services though. Like, it doesn't, just because I know they're minding my shit doesn't mean I don't need these services. Yeah. So it's like, okay, but I don't want the way I'm thinking to be influenced by these organizations or by these mediums or by these companies. So like everything I do, and this has actually driven me crazy. And this is why I buy local. Holy fuck. Just had a revelation where it's just like, every time, like I go to Nike, right? I bought some shoes. I bought these shoes. And I'm like, why do I want these shoes? I went through the biggest moral dilemma in the Nike store of like, why the fuck, what is making me want these shoes? And I sat there for 20 minutes.
Who doesn't like new shoes?
See, there's that, but it's like these specific shoes, these brands, these colors, etc., etc. So it's just like I have such like a moral conflict of like, every time I make a purchase or an action with my money or my time, my attention, I'm always like, why the fuck am I doing this? And trying to go deep into like, is this motivated by me or is this motivated by me interacting with my environment? Because guess what? Someone else controls my environment. A multitude of people control my environment.
And that's what I was saying earlier about like, you have to make up your own opinions about shit. Like,
that is what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, remember we were talking about it? It's like, you cannot just take in this information like that's like on an advert or like whatever, on a flashy picture, like, and then just take that to heart. Like, you have to be like, okay, instead of having the moral dilemma at the store, like, why do I think about this? Like, have that moral dilemma when you're watching this commercial for Nike and then go like, oh, that made me feel a certain way. Why did it make me feel that way? Am I being directly influenced by? Are they manipulating me into wanting to buy their product right now? Like, have that thought then.
That's hard though, because you're drinking the juice at that point.
Right. Or you're just scrolling and you don't even realize it just like burns itself in your brain. And you're like, you could have looked at it for a second and a half.
No.
You just stopped long enough to look at it. The sound started playing, and you're like, "Oh, this shit has sound. I don't want to keep." You know, I'm not fucking mute that shit. Whatever. You keep scrolling, but it's like it burrowed itself in there. So it's tough to do that, but it's like, again, you're a weird guy, and you think like that, right? Like most people don't think like, why am I spending this $150 at Nike? They're just like, those shoes are dope. I like those colors. I want those shoes. I have $150.
This sounds like a deal.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Right. That's how most people, and that's great. You buy yourself shit you like, enjoy it.
Because
you know
life's
what I mean?
about being happy.
Yeah, and I have 20 pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
Do I need 20 pairs of shoes?
Nope.
No. You have more fucking pairs of shoes than me. This guy. I didn't even know about this guy. I show up at his house. He's got floor-to-ceiling shelves full of shoes. I'm like, what? Like, you always wear the same pair.
You know, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All I'm saying is that I think that that's part of the reason why, like, I fuck with local products and I fuck with, like, for instance, self-hired.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's like, I'm wearing this hoodie because I want to wear this hoodie.
Right. And we went out of our way to make our product very, like, comfortable.
Absolutely.
And feel good. And here's the thing with that is, it's like, that takes a lot of work.
But I wasn't manipulated into this product.
Just because we don't have the power to manipulate you into buying it. If we did, we would. Don't get it twisted, bro. If we had the power and the advertising money and the huge following, like, this shit would be in your face every day. You should self-hired hoodies everywhere. You know what I mean? That's what we want. And we'll get there.
Yeah.
But we'll try not to be nefarious about it. We'll try to just, like, send you dope shit that we like. Like, we make good shit, and it's expensive. But
it's quality. It's handmade.
That's the thing. And it's like, okay, yeah, you can go to Nike. But it's not even that expensive. You motherfuckers are out there buying Champion hoodies. They're shitty.
I love you talking right
I'm
to
right
the camera.
To the camera. I know you guys are watching this. You buy Champion hoodies for $150. You don't even bat an eye. You could get a self-hired hoodie for $140. It's better quality. Yeah. It's made right here. Yeah. It's better. It's better everything. Yeah. It's heavier. It's more comfortable. Yeah. It's more warm.
It's
better stitching.
All this stuff.
Yeah, it's like all that stuff is available to you. But no, the marketing does such a good job of burying stuff in your head that people are like, even if they see a self-hired hoodie and a Champion sweater side by side for the same price, they'll probably buy the Champion.
They're going to buy the Champion
just
sweater. Because
they wouldn't even take the minute to look and feel the material different. If they did that, it'd be easy to tell.
Frankly, just
you know what I mean?
Logo.
And I'm not trying to shit on Champion. I'm not trying to shit on any company.
It is what it is, man.
They're killing it.
They're doing
it. But they died and then they came back and they're having this resurgence.
Back from the dead.
That's great for them. And but there's no way a company like that can pump out as quality of a product without making it astronomical in price, because they'd have to put so much time into developing it the same way we did. And
100%.
their time costs more than our time costs.
Yeah, but dude, our margins aren't fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's whatever. Like, you have to
and their
spend.
margins are astronomical, probably.
Exactly. Yeah,
they're tripling up on this stupid sweater.
Of course.
And then people are happy to buy it, and even though it's shitty, or it's like half-assed. It's not shitty.
Yeah, it's made in China.
It's a decent product.
It's made in China.
Right. It's made in Bangladesh or whatever. And sure, we could do that, but like, that's the antithesis of what we're trying to do. We're not trying to be Nike. We're trying to be a quality, local, like, interesting brand that's doing cool shit. Like, that's the whole idea. And like, so the best way to do that is to market ourselves and like get our shit out into people's faces. And that's what we're trying to do now, right? So like,
okay, I'm with you.
That's the plan. So like,
not in a non-nefarious way.
In a non-nefarious way. Like, we just want to share this with the world, and it's harder to do than you ever imagine.
Of course, yeah.
There's so many people out there with clothing brands, and fucking podcasts,
all that shit,
radio shows, and this and YouTube shows, and all this bullshit, and blogs, and I'm an Instagram influencer,
all that shit.
Like, there's so much out there, and it's so much content. It's like, it's impossible to keep up with. So like,
you have to pick and choose. You have to pick your tribes, man. That's what I'm really saying. And that's another
and
one of our themes.
People do such a shitty job of that.
Of picking their tribes?
Yeah, particularly with Instagram. And you know what I mean? They'll just follow anything and anybody that follows them or looks cool or whatever. And then it's just like inundated with shit. And it's like, you don't have to have that on your feed. You can get rid
Yeah.
of anything on your feed that you don't want to see. We all have that person on our fucking Facebook or our Instagram that's always posting shit that annoys us, and we just scroll past it and like
We don't
do anything about it. We just scroll past it. We're like, oh, this guy's annoying, and then like some people do. Some people are pretty good with the unfollow and all that shit, but like I just don't even think about it. I'm just like, oh, this guy's annoying, and I just scroll past it. But then that's all. It's all getting in there.
It's all getting in
It's
your
all
head.
getting in there, and I don't want it in there.
Yeah.
So it's like, why don't I
Why
just
don't you
make
take
a
the time?
simple, why don't I
Yeah.
just make a simple decision and just get it off of my feet? Like, you're all in control of your feet. You don't have to look at shit you don't want to see. So like, do a better job of curating something that's for you. But you have to be careful, because now you end up in an echo chamber of shit that's just like, this is what I think, and everybody I follow thinks this, and everybody I talk to thinks this, and everybody I interact with thinks this.
And the
then you
algorithms
go
feed
out
me
into the
that.
real world,
Yeah.
and then you're like, I'm offended.
You're like,
Jesus
what?
Christ.
You guys don't
what
think
are these
this way?
people saying? And it's like, how do people think this? And it's like, no, this is the real world. You are just like stuck.
You're in the small little
And
microcosm
your
of your
Instagram,
life.
and you think it's the world, because it could be a big, giant group of millions of people. But you're all in different places, and you're all echoing each other's thoughts, and none of it really means anything. And again, nobody's formulating their own opinion. They're like, this is what the group consensus is.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump into this group because I like this thing that they're saying.
Which is why it's so hard to like
And then,
engage.
but then that same group goes off over here and then says some crazy shit. And then you're like, well, I'm in this group, but I don't think that.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, well, you didn't take time to formulate your own opinions, and now you're stuck in this group of people. And and now you're like on the left or on the right.
And now we have Donald Trump.
Yeah, and whatever. And like, so you end up like, it's so weird that like we have more discourse and ever more ability to talk to each other. And you're like, we're so divided on like down the line and so many like essential things, right? People just like disagree on.
Yeah.
And then there's like no discourse. There's just
No
like,
discourse.
you're wrong, fuck you. And then it's
Yeah.
like, no, you're wrong, fuck you. And it's like, dude, like, that's not what Twitter is for. Like, you're supposed to talk to each other,
But
man.
just wait till you get on Twitter and you start throwing that shit
Right,
out there.
exactly. That's why I don't want to do it. I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'm going to lose it, man. I'm going to freak out on people. I mean, like, this is not how this works, man.
Oh my god.
This is what I think, and hey, tell me what you think, and then you go, no, fuck what you think. You're a piece of shit. And it's like, well, no, this is not how you have a conversation.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
I think this. It's
Here's
like, well,
why I think
But
this.
you're wrong. Why?
Here's why you're
Fuck
wrong.
you cuck, white, male, cisgendered piece of garbage. No, that's not how you have a conversation. That's not how we get anywhere.
It's not. It's
That's
not.
not how we get
it's
anywhere.
not how you have a
we
conversation.
have to be like, you just can't.
You got to debate. You got to debate.
Yeah,
You have to debate.
wouldn't, like, most people are not going to say that to your face. 'Cause
Yeah.
you punch them in their motherfucking mouth. You can't talk to people like this. But on the internet,
You can.
you can do whatever you want.
You do whatever you want.
You go on Twitter, go on Kawhi Leonard's page, and go, fuck you, Kawhi, you 6'10 bitch ass gorilla motherfucker. It's like, you would never say that to that guy's face. Not
No,
in a
'cause he-
million years would you have the balls to talk to that guy like that.
No, of
You
course
can-
not.
But you can do it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Without any repercussions.
Nothing.
They won't even ban you for that.
Nothing.
Well, maybe if you say the gorilla part and it turns out it's racist. I didn't mean it as racist. I just meant he's huge. And giant, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a huge fan of Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
That's why I picked him. I'm like, he's a great player. He's like hot in the fucking
He's
thing,
humble
right?
too.
Yeah.
He's humble,
and he
dude.
doesn't say much. Yeah. So you could pick on him.
Yeah.
Because he's not gonna go on Twitter
not gonna come back.
and like go get in a crazy war with you. So you could do that. But
Yeah.
it's like, nobody in their right mind would ever fucking say that to that guy. He would smack you with that giant meat fucking
Huge
palm.
hand, man.
And
Crazy.
you'd never wake up. So it's like, so people are like, they have this like, because they're not forced to have real discourse, they can just go, fuck you.
Yeah.
I disagree with your bullshit.
Okay.
And it's like, but then we don't get anywhere. And
So
you can't change people's opinions,
So how? Because everyone's opinion is respected. Da, 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 da. So how?
which is also bullshit.
So how?
A lot of
Okay.
people are dumb as fuck. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Here, we need to release wolves in the street. I've been saying this.
But let's just get the slow ones, not the
Okay,
dumb ones.
right, my bad.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Some of
yeah.
the dumb ones are fast as fuck. And they're going to still be out there. They're going to still be out there tweeting about the wolves and shit. Ruining your fucking day.
Yeah. Oh my
So,
god.
and, like, that's my biggest beef with it. That's probably why, like, one of the reasons I didn't want to get on Twitter. I'm like, it's crazy. It's not, there's no way to have a conversation with somebody like that. And then, like, even when you have a conversation with someone, you don't, even face to face, you're going to be more civil and you'll get more done, but sometimes you don't get anywhere. Like me and Sue have had multiple hour-plus long conversations about all sorts of different shit, and we get nowhere all the time. And we don't agree on anything. Like, she's super feminist on her, like, you know, hippy-dippy, energy wave shit. And I'm like, super pragmatic about a lot of things.
Super logical, super...
Yeah, and very, like, personal responsibility. And she's like, well, no, what about when somebody feels this way? I'm like, I don't care about their feelings. Why do I have to take everybody's feelings into consideration all the time? They're acting like fucking assholes. And I don't care that they feel bad. Like, just because you feel bad or you feel disenfranchised by society or you don't feel like you fit in doesn't mean you can act like a dick to me and be a fucking piece of shit.
Pick yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, man. Like, have some personal responsibility. Like, I'm not entitled. Like, I'm not required to feel bad for you. And I'm not required to bend over backwards to make you feel comfortable,
because you feel
and neither is society.
And
this is a problem we have now too. We're bending over backwards for everybody. If you have to have a fucking emotional support peacock that you want to take on an airplane, that should be allowed. No,
peacocks are
if you cannot go anywhere without your emotional support animal, you need help. Go to the psychiatrist and no, you don't get to go on an airplane. Okay, no, you don't, because the airlines, I don't know why they cave to this shit. They're a private enterprise. Nobody is entitled to travel by the air. That's not a thing we're supposed to do. Humans are not supposed to do that, period. So the fact that we invented airplanes is one thing, okay? But you're not now entitled to fly on an airplane with your shitty Labradoodle because you have anxiety. And I love dogs. And I wouldn't mind having a dog on a plane. But what if the guy behind you has an allergy? And now he goes into
needs
fucking
an EpiPen and shit.
Because you are so emotionally distraught that you can't go from fucking Vancouver to Edmonton without your support animal. Then you have serious problems. And you need help. And I'm not disparaging you.
So should we get that person help?
Yeah. Spend that $300 you were gonna spend on your plane ticket on a fucking psychiatrist, because that's what you need. You don't need to go anywhere right now. Except you need to go lay on that couch and you need to work out your issue.
And let's talk, you know,
you need to work out your
issue. We'll get through it.
Yeah, because you have an issue. You have an issue. If you cannot function in normal society because it gives you too much anxiety, that's on you.
But you know what?
Now,
society's fucked up.
Yes, but that's still on you.
Yeah,
because the most of us go out there every day and we internalize that shit. We all have that anxiety. We all have difficulty dealing with everyday life shit sometimes. But we internalize it and we go out there and we do what we're supposed to do and we act civil and we do our fucking jobs and then we go home and we cry into our fucking pillow. Like, that's what you got to do sometimes. You can't just expect everyone to bend over backwards to help you because you don't fit in society. Like, society is a collective, and it's become this way because we all kind of agreed. Now things change and some things are getting better, some things are getting worse, but for the most part it's getting better. Like, we used to be like, yeah, blacks and whites have different fountains. Like, that was normal. Society, that was normal. And now that's not like that anymore. That's great. But now we're like in the bathroom thing is crazy. Like, just make them all stalls and that's not a problem. Anybody can go into any stall. Why is this even an issue?
You go shit, boo boo.
Yeah, like, do you have men's and women's bathrooms in your house?
Oh, damn.
You have men and women in your house. You all use the same toilet. Who gives a fuck? The only reason we even split it up in the first place is because men are creepy, like we were talking about earlier.
Oh, that is
and
true.
They hit on women in the bathroom if they're forced to share it. We did it for the women. We don't give a fuck. You don't want to be around us in the bathroom.
No,
we don't really care.
We're nasty.
So just make them all stalls and forget about it. Like, this is not even a problem. Like, 100%. How is this? This has been in the news on Twitter for years. Transgenders, they should get their own bathroom. No, everybody should just use the same fucking bathroom and forget about it. Let's move on. There's more important things to talk about.
So if you have a six member family and one of them is transgender, you're not gonna give them
a special bathroom. You're all gonna use the same fucking bathroom
because that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and it's ridiculous on a small scale in your home, and it's ridiculous on a large scale in the mall.
Because we are the human family.
Because it doesn't matter who uses what bathroom.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. That
crazy.
Does not matter.
Yeah,
the fact that it was such a discussion is crazy to me.
So hold up. Do you think that we're going to, like, in maybe 200 years, like, we look back at this fact that there was like white bathrooms and black bathrooms now, and we're like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Right.
are we gonna look back and be like, yo, there's male bathrooms and female bathrooms? That's fucking ridiculous.
Probably.
You think so?
Yeah.
Huh? I could see it.
Probably.
I could see it.
It's probably just gonna become the norm to just have bathrooms. Just bathrooms. This is the bathroom. This is where you go pee and wash your hands and do whatever you gotta do.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a fucking purple alien,
you do what you gotta do.
This is where you go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Done.
And there's no more problems.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
And the problems are over, and we can talk about important things.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can talk about the real, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
Like, shit, like people just fixate on stuff that does not matter.
Like, for instance, like lack of just toilets in third world countries. Sanitation,
yeah,
huge problem.
Yeah, they don't have water. People don't have water.
Way more
important. People don't have electricity. People don't have food.
Way more important.
And we're worried about who
else.
Shits like where. Like, I mean,
absolutely
it's
ridiculous. It's crazy. It's absolutely.
We have, like, look at the homeless problems they have in Los Angeles. Look at the homeless problem we have
downtown
here.
East Side. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you come, like people talk about the homeless in New York. They talk about the homeless in Los Angeles. Like, come here, take a fucking look around.
Yeah.
And like,
go to Oppenheimer Park or whatever it is.
Man, it's crazy. Like, we have some of the worst, like, homelessness, drug abuse problems. Like, those people need help.
No.
Transgender people can figure out what fucking bathroom to use.
Yeah.
It's not my issue right now. Like, I sympathize. I understand it's hard to be transgender, and it's probably incredibly difficult to kind of, like, fit in this, so you feel like an outcast. Okay.
Yeah.
That's, again, all that stuff, it's on you. Like,
yeah.
That's how you feel. This is who you want to be.
Yeah.
It might not fit in the society in a way that you would like.
Yeah.
It's on you to make your life the way you want it to be. Like, we can't all bend over backwards to ingratiate you and make you feel good.
So I'm with you on that.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
At what point are you? Because, like, there always was outcasts and outliers, and people were like,
sure.
I don't fit in, so I'm gonna go this way
right.
and do my thing this way.
I'm gonna zig when you guys zag.
Right.
Okay, yeah,
and it doesn't apply to their, like, sexual orientation.
Doesn't matter.
It's anything in life.
Yeah,
whether
yeah.
they want to be a weird artist or, like,
whatever.
live in a hippie commune.
Don't matter.
Yeah. So they decided, like, this regular shit doesn't work for me.
I'm
going this way.
Yeah.
And
they
then
went that way.
Transgender people don't, for whatever reason, can't seem to do that. And they're like, no, I want to be in the regular group of people.
Well, it's not just.
Like, but that's not.
It's not just transgender people. It's
Just this is what's the hot topic.
Right.
So that's why we're using them as an example. That's all. So it's just like, just make your own lane, man. Like, you're not going to be accepted by everybody.
Right.
But for the most part, everybody's pretty accepting. Like, it's gotten to a point where, like, everybody's pretty cool with it. And, like, we understand. So just make your own lane.
Hey, listen,
man. Like,
listen.
Don't focus on everybody else.
Things are hard. Like, if I'm a person with black hair in a room of people with blonde hair, like, that makes me feel some type of way. Okay, all right, listen, things are hard. I get it. Like, okay, if I have one sexual orientation versus another, or if I have a certain, religious orientation or whatever, like, I understand. Like, listen, I've been an outlier basically all my life. I understand that is hard. But where that argument falls apart across the board is like, listen, I understand that's hard. People are dying. Like, people are dying.
Yeah. Like,
people are suffering and dying, like, horrific deaths constantly.
Yeah.
Like, bro, go to fucking Haiti. And, like, seriously, you go to, like, I went to Haiti. That's the example I always use. Right. Like, I don't have a problem in the world. Yeah. I don't have a problem.
Those people, yeah.
I don't have a problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's, again, perspective. Like,
you know
the more shit you have, I forget who said it. I think it was, like, Mark Norman who said
okay.
it. I don't know. He's a comedian. He was on the Fighter Kid. He's like, the more shit you have, the more you complain about.
Right.
Like, the people with nothing,
oh, man,
they never complain.
They're happy, man.
They never complain.
They're dancing,
they just get up,
singing,
they go to
bro.
work, they're smiling, and they have nothing.
They're
they
loving
live
their
in
family.
dirt and squalor, and they're like, they're not complaining. Even if they're not the happiest, they're not complaining.
No, they're enjoying. They're enjoying
but
life.
then the rich lady at the nice restaurant complains about her fucking food not being right,
which is atrocious,
or the driver being late, or whatever.
That's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? So there's, like, the more shit you have, the more you take for granted, the more you complain about shit. So it's like, again, it's like those things. It's like the point of diminishing returns. At some point, like, all that stuff you have is just gonna make you more of a cunt. You don't need it. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a fine line to walk between like just the right amount of shit and then overabundance.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, now you're just like,
Listen, if you, again, I just listened to this happiness pod about, listen, if you think something's gonna be bad, we have this really bad ability of like running through scenarios in our head, right? If something's gonna be bad and you go through live through that bad thing, chances are it was not as bad as you thought it was. And the same thing goes for the other end of the spectrum. If you think someone's gonna be amazing, I'm gonna get this boyfriend, I'm gonna get this girlfriend, and life is gonna be everything, it's not as good as you thought it was. Because again, right? It's the same thing.
That fucks people up.
That fucks people up.
They're not ready for that.
No, no.
They think everything's gonna be all fucking hunky dory.
No, it's not. It's not. But it's also not as bad. It's also not as bad.
No.
You go into a shitty situation, like, okay, this is what it is, because we adjust. That's what humans do, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you're in a situation where you're eating, feeding your kid mud pies because this fucking stomach's swollen and the hunger pains are too much, and you need something to feed your kid, like, life, as soon as you get one meal or one bag of rice, you're cruising. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that we're so. I think my big takeaway from all this is like, listen, I'm not saying that your problems are not tough. I'm just saying that in the context of the world, they're not tough.
Yeah.
In the context of your life,
Yeah.
they're tough.
Sure.
In the context of the world, come on.
Right. Well, it's like, yeah, there's levels of everything. Like,
There's levels to it.
Everybody's problems, like, yeah, to me, like, your problems seem like nonsensical, and
Of course.
it's like, oh, it's
Right.
not really a problem. Like,
You're like,
I'm arguing with my girlfriend or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
So what?
Is he gonna buy Nike or Adidas shoes?
Yeah,
Why is he
like,
buying shoes? Like,
yeah.
you got $150 to spend on shoes. What the fuck are you
so
talking
it's just
about?
like, but to you, it's like, this is like, like, okay, here's a perfect example. I just had to turn down a job offer.
Okay.
That I got, right?
All right.
I got a very lucrative job offer from a guy I used to work with, a good friend of mine. He called me. He's like, hey, man, I got this job in Chilliwack, big sprinkler job, 2 big buildings.
Yeah.
You get to run it. We'll pay you a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Like, but we need you. Come do this. And I'm like, okay. That's a great opportunity. I could use the money. This is going to take up so much of my time. And like between like what we're doing here, self-hired, with the store coming up, and like all these podcasts that we're producing and all this other shit that's going on, it's like, can I be like essentially removed from that process almost for this entire 9 months, because I'm gonna be in Chilliwack working and then commuting, and like I'm gonna have no time. I'm barely gonna have weekends, and it's like, can I take this job and like do this and make this work and do all these things I want to do? Like, to me, that's a big problem. Like, I have a big dilemma now. I'm stressing out about it. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Like, this guy offered me. This is a great job.
Yeah.
I'll have benefits. I'll make good money. They're gonna pay for my gas.
Yeah, all
They're gonna
this
pay me
stuff.
travel time. They're gonna do all this shit for me. They're paying me good money. Like, but to me, this is a big problem. I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Do I take this? Do I take a chance over here?
Yeah.
Do I? And then like, now I'm stressing, and I'm like, to some guy outside of that, and you tell him, hey, listen to this guy.
Yeah.
This is his problem.
And you're like, what
he's
a
got a
fucking-
full-time job,
Yeah.
and then another thing that he's doing on the side that he loves to do.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he's getting offered a job for $40+ an hour,
Yeah.
and he's thinking about not taking it, and he considers that a problem. You
Yeah.
believe this piece of shit?
Yeah, fuck this
He's
guy.
like, I'm not working right now. I'm unemployed.
Yeah.
And this guy has basically 3 jobs on the line,
Yeah.
and he's complaining, and
Yeah.
he thinks he has a problem.
Yeah.
It's like, well, to me, it's a problem. Like, to me, if I pass up this opportunity, like, maybe this could be good for me in the future. Like, maybe I could get something really big out of this. And like, I was planning at some point to maybe do my own sprinkler shit. Maybe I can meet some people and kind of grease the grooves of that. But it's like, but if I do that, then I'll be not here, and then I won't be able to produce the podcast and be at video shoots
yeah,
and
all this stuff.
and help with the store. And like, so it's like, I don't know what to do, and I'm in this dilemma, and it's like, but that's not really a problem.
Yeah, this guy's drowning in opportunities.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
Fuck that guy.
Right? And it's
Yeah.
like, well, that's not. People are like, that's not a problem. Well, it is for me.
Yeah.
It causes me stress, anxiety. I don't know what to do. And like, in the grand scheme of things, regardless of what decision I make, I'm not gonna have. There's not gonna be a horrific outcome either way.
Yeah.
So it is, in the grand scheme of things, not really a problem. But still, it's like, that's, again, we're just talking perspective.
Because
what's
you
a problem? What's
yeah.
not a problem? What's, like, who's complaining about what means, like, who deserves to complain and who doesn't?
Because you're able to see yourself in the context of the world.
Yeah.
That is
But
the
the problem
skill.
is people are so selfish, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't at all.
I think the
And like, that's the only thing that gets me through the day, man. It's like knowing that there was like so much other bad shit going on.
Yeah.
Like, because I have these like straight up freakouts, man, where I just like melt down. I'm like, this fucking sucks. Everything sucks. Life sucks. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I fucked up my life. I'm 30 years old. I didn't do all the things I wanted to do. I didn't save all the money I wanted to save. I spent 5 years in Alberta. Like, for what?
Yeah.
And it's like, I just melt down. And then I'm like, well, my life's not that bad.
Hey, you live in one of the most beautiful places in the
Yeah,
world.
like I'm back in Vancouver. Like, we're doing great things. We have this great team. I love all my friends. We have a lot of fun together.
Yeah.
Like, things are great. Like, everything's fine. Like, I'm not making as much money as I did when I lived in Alberta, and I'm not, you know what I mean? And I'm in a shitty living situation right now or whatever. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, everything's
your
fine.
house is pretty nice, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I'm just, like, in a situation
I understand.
where it's like, I don't want to live.
I understand.
You know, like,
it's all good. It's all good.
So it's like, you know the whole situation.
Yeah,
so I'm not going to get into detail about that. But it's like, all those things are like, but they get to you sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, fucking, I'm like, this is bullshit, man.
But then
like,
what happens after that?
But then I think, and then I relax, and then I'm like, okay. Like, some of the people I know are like nowhere near as good a position as I am. Like, some of the people I grew up with, like, we literally had the same opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, well, I grew up with this one kid, and we were best friends growing up.
Yeah.
And like, the only difference between us is like, I had parents, and he basically did it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we literally had every other same opportunity.
Yeah.
We went to the same schools. We fucking ate the same food, hung out with the same people. We did the same shit. We had the same life, essentially. The only difference is, like, I had parents at home and he didn't.
Yeah.
And, like, we ended up in completely different places. And, like, he, like, went off the rails and like, was doing drugs and, like, whatever, had a kid young and all this crazy shit. And I, like, went this way and I was, like, started working at 19, had my own car.
Yeah.
And, like, he was
got
still,
some responsibility.
like, he was still a fuck up. And it's, like, and I tried to, like, show him the way, like, throughout this whole time. I'm, like, this is how you do it. Like, just follow me, bro. Like, let's get a job.
Yeah.
Let's make some money.
We'll figure it out.
Get independent. Like, And he just, like, refused to do it. And, like, so a lot, like, people just, they don't take enough responsibility for their own actions. They need to do more for themselves, and they need to understand that it's like it's not easy for anyone.
No,
it's not easy for anyone. Like whoever you think, millionaires, billionaires.
Yeah, it's not easy for the rich kid.
The Rock, you know, like whoever you think is like killing it in life and having the best time. Like when Kevin Hart, when that shit came out about him about cheating his wife and all that crazy shit, like that was probably a bad time in his life.
Yeah.
He was still doing movies and doing shows and making $100 million, but he was not having a good time in his life right now. No. His marriage could have been falling apart, all this crazy shit.
He's got kids, all
then
that.
Again, okay, he cheated on his wife, like he's paying the repercussions. Fine.
Yeah.
But like that wasn't easy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy for him to navigate through, and he figured out a way to do it, and his wife and him are still together, and everything worked out. So it's like, did it all work out because he really went out of his way to make it work? And they're like, okay, this sucks right now, but I have to like put all my emotions aside and like go to work on fixing the problem.
Which is, and it's
however I do it, whether it be like talking to my wife or like going to see a couples therapist,
therapy, or
apologizing on this or doing that,
yeah.
stepping back from my work and like taking time to like, you know, reconcile my thoughts and like get my shit together.
100%.
Like whatever it is, you gotta take some action to make it. Like you have to realize like it's only as bad as you let it be. You know what I mean? You have to like, you can't let your mental state defeat you. You know what I mean? It's going to take over. It's going to overwhelm you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to make you feel worthless. It's going to make you feel anxious to like, to the point where you can't handle it anymore. But it's not in charge of you. Like it can't.
It isn't you.
No, you have the ability to do something about it.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Like now what that is, nobody can tell you.
Yeah.
You gotta figure
That's
that
up to
shit
you.
out.
That's up to
you
you.
gotta fucking you gotta look inwards, you gotta think about it. You gotta really have some perspective. Like, okay, my life is fucked up right now.
Right.
How much of that is my fault?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Not
the hard
all of
question.
it is
No.
my fault. Some of it is circumstantial, things you can't control.
By chance, whatever it may be.
How much of all the fucked up things that are happening to me is my fault?
Because I bet it's like 75%.
It's a lot.
80%.
It's a lot.
It's
You're fucking up
mostly you.
all the time. Okay? You, me, everybody. We're always fucking up.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's like, you have to realize, like, I'm not the smartest. I'm not the best at this. I'm not, the most creative. I'm not the best with money. Whatever your problem is, there's a lot of things you could do to help yourself, right? To fix that scenario. And that's like, but people have zero self-responsibility now.
Yeah.
They blame everything on everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone else, it's the economy, it's fucking this, it's fucking that. It's all these people coming out from the foreign land and buying,
taking my jobs,
and buying real estate and inflating the prices, and that's why I can't get a house. Like, bitch, you can't get a house because you can't get a mortgage because you make like $40,000 a year,
and you fucked up your
even
credit.
if you could afford a house, even if the house was only $250,000. You couldn't afford it. Like, you're not in a place in your life where you could even afford it, even if it was like 1980s prices. So what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're just, you're making excuses about shit that like doesn't even concern you. Like, you're not even in a place to buy a house yet. Yeah. So like, don't think about that. Yeah. Like, what am I doing right now? Like, why is my life fucked up right now? Okay, well, I don't like this about my job. I don't like this about my girlfriend. I don't feel great. I'm overweight. I'm not eating right. All these things have solutions.
And you control them.
Right, yes. But like, people are like, and I'm guilty of this too.
100%.
I'm lazy. I fuck up. I eat bad.
Yeah.
I love sugar and snacks and shit. I'm fucking the worst, man. But I realize that about myself, and I beat myself up about it. So like, it'll give me more motivation later, like to do better.
Yeah.
Right. And that doesn't always work. And then you just like feel depressed and you eat another fucking cookie.
And you got to get encouraged.
Like, fuck. You're like, I fucked this up, man. Like, now it's like late and I feel like shit.
Yeah, I'm going to feel like shit tomorrow.
I'm sad and like, I'm going to like not feel great in the morning. And then
I'm going to watch another fucking Netflix episode.
Yeah, and then I'll probably be lethargic and then I won't go to the gym. And then that's like 2 days gone. And it's like, fuck, but like, that's going to happen. And you're going to feel bad.
Yeah, seasons.
But that's okay. Feel bad.
And get back on your horse.
And then and realize, shame yourself. Yes, I fucked up, man. I'm bad. Like I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I didn't get this work done. I didn't fucking go to the gym. I made this list of shit that I was going to get done a month ago. I haven't touched any of it. That's all on you.
Yeah. Or just take it one fucking step at a time.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
encourage
the only
yourself.
way to do it. But realize that that's on you. Like
100%.
I am failing at making my life better. Yeah. Like, I can't. It's not going to be perfect. It's not maybe my ideal life is to be fucking Jeff Bezos and be worth $1 billion. Okay, that's probably not going to happen, dude.
Right.
But if you really, really work towards it, if you really, really make a concerted effort to feel better, then you'll feel better.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to. We all have like psychological levers, right? Like, so for me, I take the same approach where I'm like, no. Okay, listen, this is what's happening.
You're good at that.
This is what I want to happen.
You're good at that.
So I need to take these things that I'm doing and I need to do these things.
Right.
And then as a result, that's my desired result.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Right.
Right.
And you're good at that. You're like, I'm not going out. I'm good, like, fuck you guys. I'm leaving. I'm going home to work.
I'm good. Okay,
you're good at that. And a lot of people are not good at that. They're like, well, we're out. Let's fucking hang out.
Shit,
and whatever.
okay, well, I had a couple drinks, a couple more drinks.
Yeah. And you're just like, no, fuck this. I'm out. Like, I got to go. I got shit to do. Like, I got to be up at 5 a.m. Like, people don't have that self-discipline. And I don't.
Right. Well, I mean,
I don't.
But we all have the different ways. Like, we have different levers.
Yeah.
And we build on our levers.
The thing about the self-realization thing is, like, sometimes you realize that your way sucks.
Yes.
And you're fucking up, dude. Yes. And you gotta adopt a new way to do it because the way you're doing it's not working.
Doesn't make you happy.
Everybody's like, I want to do it my way. I'm gonna do it this way. Like, this is what I want. Sometimes what you want doesn't fucking matter.
Dude,
guys.
good point. Like, using that exact same example, like, I'm the guy 100%. Like, we throw Hush Music Party, all this type of shit. Yeah. And like, I'm that guy where I'm like, you know what? No, I'm good. I need to get up at 4 a.m. because I need to go service my clients or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. And you don't want to do that.
No, but there's a downside to that because I'm like, okay, I'm about career and growth and profession and discipline and all. Okay, that's what's important to me. But you know what else is important? Fucking happiness, dude. Like, letting go. There's a downside to everything. Yeah. But it's about finding a way to navigate that. And if the same thing with the discipline thing, like, I recently realized, like, holy fuck, I've never encouraged myself. So like there's
no, that's
you know what I'm saying?
People beat themselves up the way I do.
Exactly.
Like, you're a piece of shit. Like, you need to do better.
Right.
But like,
because I've always taken the approach of like
encouraging yourself is great.
It is
good.
You
have the wherewithal to do it, and you can really like inspire yourself and motivate yourself. Like, I need to get up right now. Like, I can do this. That's a great mindset to be
Dude,
in.
I found
Most
out-
people
yeah.
are in the complete opposite.
Super negative.
Like everybody's negative, like especially like looking inwards. 'Cause
Which
we're
can,
also
which
self-conscious, right?
it can work. It can work. I understand.
Well, it does work.
Yeah.
Because the like self-consciousness and like you know that inferiority feeling is what drives people to do like to be tremendous actors and to be uber successful.
Well, here's the thing, right? You can have so fear can work two ways, right? Fear can stand in front of you, all right, or you know, and hold you back, or fear can go behind you,
Yeah.
right, and push you and propel you forward. But I just gotta tell you, as someone who's always used fear behind me, is like, you know, that leads to a lot of things, scarcity mindset, and a lot of times you get down on yourself, and a lot of times you beat yourself up. You have different guilt complexes that can work negatively as well. Just recently, man, like for instance, if I have a thing like coffee, okay, like I struggle with coffee, like I struggle
Really?
with for sure, dude. I'm 100% addicted to coffee. 100%.
Really?
Oh, I'm fucked.
I probably drink 3 times the amount of coffee you drink.
Yeah, but dude, you're fucking hooked too. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
I
Like,
just love it.
I love coffee.
I
Listen, I
love
love
it.
the smell of
I
it, the
love
taste of it. I
exactly.
love different
It has
types of
nothing to do with
coffees.
the caffeine shit.
No, you know nothing.
I don't even feel it probably.
No,
anymore.
exactly. Like I love the conversation that comes with coffee. I love having coffee with other people. All of it, the whole thing. But like, so for instance, I'm trying to have like one like 16 ounce a day. You know, just one, like I get up at 4 in the morning. Okay, I bang that out right at the start of the day. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, down from 3 or 4. So it's like, for instance, one of the things I'm using in my life is like so I crash like around 2:30. I generally crash, right?
Okay.
I'm up early. I crash around 2:30, and I need to be doing stuff going. So a lot of times I'll grab a coffee, and I used to be like, "Yo, don't fucking grab that coffee." Like that is pure addiction speaking right now. You're fucking good. Have a glass of water. You're fucking fine. Just go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the mindset I have. And a lot of times it works, but sometimes it doesn't. And as soon as it doesn't, I fucking beat myself up. And guess what? Instead of having 3 coffees that day, I'm having 8, son, because I'm already on the train. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Really? Yeah,
right?
you
I have
you
that.
rebel against yourself.
100%.
Fuck that. I'm
Yeah.
going off today. 'Cause I
Exactly.
already fucked up. I'm just gonna
Exactly. You give
yeah.
yourself permission to sin. So instead, like, rather than do that, I've taken the approach of like, okay, it's 2:00 and now it's 2:30. And at 2:00, I fucking wanted a coffee. I wanted a second coffee, third coffee.
Yeah.
But I waited 30 minutes. And you know what? Yesterday at 2:01, I got one. So you know what? I'm up 29 minutes. And if I can get up to an hour, I bet I'm good.
Sure.
So it's like bit by bit by bit by bit. So like kind of using that encouragement a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean that's great. You know that's I mean coffee is so innocuous.
You got the word. So you said nefarious, innocuous, and you had one other that you slipped in there that I missed.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it really like I mean 2 cups of coffee a day is.
I know it's fine.
It's fucking nothing.
But
It's
I- no,
a big
it's
deal.
not- no, I
Especially
know.
because you probably drink it black. You don't even.
Yeah,
put-
exactly. No, I don't put any of that
It's
shit in
like,
there.
I mean, don't worry about it.
I know,
know what
but
I mean?
I
Like-
don't like dependencies. I don't like
But you're not
dependencies.
dependent on it. Like there's gonna come a time where you cannot get a cup of coffee at 2:00,
Yeah, that's happened.
and you'll be fine.
And I'll be okay. But
So,
but if I have no
To what extent are you dependent on it?
if I have no coffee in a day, I will get a headache. 100%.
Okay, then take an Advil and don't be such a bitch about it. You know what I mean?
man.
That's I mean, like you're not coming down off of heroin. Like relax, bro. You didn't get your 2:00 cup of coffee. You're gonna be fine, man. Don't be so
All right,
dramatic.
man.
But that's a good way to train yourself to think right
Right.
and to like battle those demons. Like okay, if you could do it with coffee, then maybe in the future down the line you might have some other problem.
Yeah.
With some other substance or some other whatever. It
So
might
you
be.
develop discipline and
So because you did that thing with the coffee and it worked, that
And
experiment.
the next
so
thing.
now you believe in yourself for the next time if you really have to do something that's exponentially more difficult.
100%. I believe in that so
So
much.
that's a great thing. So like take that little innocuous thing that you do and try to like use that to train yourself to be a better person. That's great. That's a great approach to it.
But
Don't beat yourself up over having a second cup of coffee. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Enjoy your coffee, man. Like coffee's fine. But no, that's again, yeah. It's you have a great perspective. It's like, okay, I don't like this thing about myself. Let's see if I can change it, and
Yeah.
let's see how hard it is to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And most people don't even attempt it.
Dude,
You know what I mean? Like, let's see how hard it is not to drink for a month or not to, or to go vegan for 6
Vegan,
days, like these guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. Challenge yourself, do something different. See how you feel, see how hard it is for you.
See how hard it is.
Like train your mind. Like it's hard to train your mind. Like
100%.
that's my biggest thing. Like that I lack.
Yeah.
I like discipline. My mind is weak right now.
Yeah.
I'm fucking up. I know that about myself, and that's the thing. Like,
shit.
Ultimately, you gotta realize your shortcomings. Like, that's gonna help you so much. Like, you have to be honest with yourself about like, what am I missing? What am I doing wrong? Why are things not working the way I want them to work?
How do you take one step towards training your mind? What's one step toward, like, give me a practical example of training your mind?
I mean, the easiest way to do it is, set up a schedule. Like, I go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that's when I go to the gym, and that's
regardless how I feel, I'm fucking
there's
going
no
to the gym.
fucking questions about it.
Yeah.
And when I feel like shit on Friday and I'm tired, and it's Friday and everybody's going out, and like I want to like chill and get ready and go out and drink. Nope, can't do it. You have to go at least do a half an hour,
dude,
and then get home, and then you'll fail a couple of times.
100%.
You'll feel bad.
Yeah.
And good.
Yeah.
You should feel bad.
Get back on your horse.
You should feel bad. You fucked up that time. You missed it. You let your mind defeat you. You let your weak.
There's fucking Monday now.
Yeah. And then if you go and you continue to go and you develop that and you strengthen that part of your mind, and then you can do it with diet.
It becomes habit, right? Once it becomes habit, it does. You don't.
And
have
then
to exert
that
energy.
part of your mind, like once you have a habit like that part of your mind is like concrete.
Strong.
Like you have to do it.
You move on to the next thing.
Not doing that is more detrimental.
Harder.
Yeah. So and then that's great. Now you can move on to the next thing.
Absolutely.
And
you know how I started that, bro? I started that. This is crazy. I've never said this before. So I noticed my mom. This is so funny. This is a trip. This is episode 51, and I talked about this in a different way on the first episode. So like. My mom, I noticed when I was maybe like 7, 8 years old, she would always step on the backs of her shoes. And I was like, yo, that's lazy. And then I started.
Like when she's putting them on?
Yeah, when she's putting them on and shit. She just bash the heels in, you know what I'm saying? And wreck the shoes. I was like, that's lazy. I see that person being lazy. And then, if you're someone's, that rubs off on you. And I started to get lazy. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is a trap. Like, this is 100% a trap. Like, if I just do what I want to do all the time, I'm going to die. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get fat. I'm going to just hang out and watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on the couch all the time. And so I was like, all right, well, I don't want to do that, and I want to train my mind to not do that. And I used to step on the heels of my shoes all the fucking time because that's what my mom did. So I was like, all right, I'm going to, every time I walk in somewhere and every time I walk out somewhere, I'm going to either lace my shoes and put them on, take my shoes off and put them off. Yeah. And that's like literally the first part of like brain training, mental training, any fucking type of like brain, like anything that I ever did. And I was like, and that just set me on this like snowball of like now where it's like I go over pointless shit of like, dude, I'm so psycho. Like, dude, we cleaned this shit earlier today. We cleaned the entire office. Like, there's that one where that heater's sitting right there. There was a bunch of chairs there that I moved after, and that one spot is the only spot in this entire spot that is not vacuumed, and it's fucking with my head right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I don't want to be weak and just let myself be like, oh, it's okay. So I take it too far. But all I'm trying to say, with that message is just like, yo, brick by brick by brick by brick by brick by brick, right?
And that's the hardest part. And it's like so cliche, and everybody says
super
the same
cliche,
shit.
super cliche.
But it's like that's the shit that works, man.
Yeah, it's like there's a reason
it's cliche for a reason. Like this is the shit that works. Like everyone who's successful and everyone who's like gotten to where they wanted to go, they're like, this is what I did. I was regimented. I was disciplined. I did things I didn't want to do when they had to be done because that's what had to be done. Yeah. Period. Right? Yeah. And then you train yourself to be that. Like, for example, like Kevin Hart, uber successful, makes millions of dollars, goes out and runs 10Ks like every day. Yeah. And he runs 10K every day and then like runs with his fans and shit and does like boxing and ice baths and all this shit. He probably doesn't want to work out like a demon all the time. But this is what he had to do when he was successful because he was on camera and he wanted to look good.
100%.
And then eventually, through doing that over and over again, now this is his routine. No. I go to town, I land to the gym, or I go run it. I put my running shoes on, I go run it.
No bullshit.
This is what I do. Like, this is how my life is now.
Right.
Because I've trained myself to do things that are better for my life.
Yeah.
And now this
Because I want to have a good life. Period.
Now it's just solid in my brain.
Dude.
And it's like, that's just what I do. Like, we land, we get to the hotel, and I go straight to the gym, or I go running.
Or whatever
I put
it is.
out a tweet, and 1,000 people come run with me, like a 10K. He probably doesn't do that anymore. He's too big of a star. But he used to do that shit all the time.
See, that's the thing. Like, that's what you just said. Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Sure.
That's
whatever.
Hey, bro, it's
it is.
Wednesday. This is what the fuck I do. Dude, that's why I'm doing cold plunges now.
And I want to do that too.
Let's fucking go.
Dude, I'm obsessed with Wim Hof. I think that guy's a genius.
Yeah, he is
and
smart.
I think he really is onto something.
I think he
with
is too.
This cold water shit. He's like,
And breathing. It's breathing. It's a lot of breathing.
Not only that, he was explaining how that literally, like, being in the cold, your muscles contract, and that trains your muscles.
Yeah.
So, like, your muscles contracting like that all the time, it literally trains your cardiovascular system.
Yeah.
Also, when your muscles are contract like that, your heart has to work way harder to push the blood through your muscles.
Right. That's why you hyperventilate.
Yeah. And it's a cardiovascular workout just being in the cold.
Sitting there.
So you can just sit in an ice bucket, and you're literally, it's like
you're training.
It's like jogging, almost. It's not like sprinting, but it's like, you know what I mean.
No, I understand.
And like,
oh, for sure, cold shock proteins, all this type of stuff.
Yeah,
all
and
that
like
stuff.
that guy's, he's just amazing. Man.
Yeah, they're doing some crazy.
If you don't know who Wim Hof is, look him up. The
Yeah.
Iceman, Wim Hof. He holds like 28 Guinness World Records of like swimming under ice, being submerged in ice for 24 hours, like crazy shit. He ran a marathon in the Arctic with no shoes on.
Yeah.
That's real.
That's real.
That's real.
Super crazy.
He ran a marathon in the Arctic with no shoes on. And didn't get frostbite, and there's nothing wrong with him.
He's totally fine.
He's super healthy.
Woke up the next day, probably could have done it again.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. The guy's like, he's a freak, and it's really like mind over matter type shit.
No, it really is.
He trained his brain to like, the cold is my friend. It is not my enemy.
So cool, man.
And how do you do that? But that's it. It's power. The power's up here, man.
Dude,
we have it.
Slowly.
We all have it, and it's like, and that's one of the things that I get down on myself about. It's like, dude, I know I'm smart. Like, I know I'm full of potential. I know I have the ability to do all these things, and I don't fucking do them. And then I don't know why. Another day goes by, and I feel shitty, and it makes me depressed, and I'm like, fuck, I'm such a piece of shit.
Nah, Val, here's the thing. Here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. I gotta cut you off, bro. I understand. Maybe this is useful. I was doing the grouse grind, right? I was doing the grouse grind.
Yeah, you're doing that a lot.
Stupid early in the morning. I was doing the grouse grind, and I was like, I had this because I was thinking about Joe Rogan, and he was like, we need to release the wolves, and like, you know, like I said earlier in the pod, and
I gotta be fast,
right? And I was like, okay, gotta be fast, you know. But no, I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, there's nothing that's trying to kill people anymore, and that's why we have these issues. That's why, you know, society's so polarized, all this type of stuff. And then I had this like epiphany moment where I was like, and you were just talking about, you know, like, fuck, another day goes by and I'm acting this way and I know better and all this type of stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm like, the world, and I mean this, like, this is not a hyperbole. I mean this entirely as I'm speaking it. Like, the world is like the first world is trying to kill you. Like, whether it's your phone, whether it's the water you drink, the food you eat, the relationships you have, your car, your screen time, whatever it may be, like how you're like you're not meditating, how your mind is being adaptive to your workplace, what you're doing in your free time, alcohol, like what the fuck, all this shit is literally killing us super slowly. So like I kind of took that mentality and being like made it an immediate threat of like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. I'm not like, we're all gonna die. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's something direct. Like I'm a fighter. Like I like to fight shit. I like to, like, you know what I'm saying? I want to see a wall. I want to break it down.
But the natural world's trying to kill you too.
But there's that too.
The wolves and the bears and all that shit. Cold.
But that's why I like going out to the woods shit, because I'm like, there's shit that could kill me out here. I like that. So it's like,
and dude, it gives you perspective. You feel small in the woods.
100%.
You realize you're like, I'm out here. There's nobody else out here. And like, this is crazy. But like, dude, if I die here right now, somebody might never find me. Like 100%. If you're deep out enough out there, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
but if
which I like to be too.
It's just fun.
Sometimes.
But it's like, so we're not connected to nature. We're never grounded. Our charges, our ions are all off. We fucking, the skyscrapers, the air quality, all this type of stuff, right? Like whether it's like scientifically, this shit is killing us, is giving us cancer, it's shortening our lifespan, rapid obesity, whatever you want to call it. So I just look at that stuff like every day. Like I'm waking up and I'm like, oh, this shit's trying to kill me. And I see it right in front of my face now. Like whether it's screen time, what I'm eating, like just the little habits. Like I am trying to kill me. I know this sounds fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, that's exactly
like
what
I
it
am
is.
literally trying to kill me, and a big part of that is my environment. I am reacting to my environment,
it's the major part,
which is making me kill me.
Because if you didn't have all that, you'd just be focused on like feeding yourself.
Yeah,
and like that's pretty much it.
That's
and,
pretty much it.
Creating these little things that'll make your life a little bit easier.
Anyways,
like, yeah.
So it's just like I see that as an immediate threat versus like something that's gonna kill me over decades, because it would kill me over decades, right? And like I'm gonna die. Like it's all good, but like seeing that every day actually gives me the motivation to be like, oh fuck, actually going to the gym or actually drinking that, however many liters of water, or actually meditating, or actually reading that fucking book. Like if you don't read every day, you don't use your mind, you lose it. Use it or lose it. Your mind's a muscle.
Yeah, it's a muscle that atrophies like
any other muscle. So it's
I mean, it's inevitable that you use it every day, but you have to. It's like
you need to push
the
it.
same way you're gonna use your legs.
You're gonna use your legs. Doesn't mean
like,
you're gonna work
walk
out
around, but they're not gonna get strong and like resilient. But
why do people break bones? Because they don't have fucking strong bones. Because they don't use their hands anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you use your hands. I just see that shit every day, and I'm like, okay, no, fuck that. Like I'm making effort because I don't want to die.
I mean, fuck, that's a great motivator.
I don't know.
You don't want to die. That's good.
But on the surface, it's like, okay, because what I really just said was, okay, I'm gonna meditate 5 minutes a day because I don't want to die. It's like, well, you're not making any sense, buddy. You know what I'm saying?
No, not if you say it like that.
But
that's not.
I position it in my mind. I play those games with myself.
Yeah,
right?
No, I gotta do these little things to make myself better in the grand scheme. Yeah, and that's. I mean, it's this fucking. I guess that's the key to like be happy, be successful. Just like do the little things that are better for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Make those little micro decisions every day that like make your life a little bit better. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's hard to do, and nobody's gonna help you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Except you.
Like, yeah, you're the only one who could, and you're gonna beat yourself up fucking worse than anyone.
Yeah.
So like, just nobody like. That's another good thing to keep in mind. It's like very few people think as badly of you as you think of you. You know what I mean? Most people, like our friends, our family, the people we know and love, they see the positive in us. They're not saying all the bad shit about us. Like they recognize it, but they don't fixate on it. But we do, we fixate on our own bullshit and our own insecurities. Mm-hmm. So like, just try to do that a little less. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just work towards the positive. It's the only way to do it. Otherwise it all gets too overwhelming and you feel like shit. And like so
I love it, bro.
Yeah, that's the only way. That's the key to happiness. We just cracked it, ladies and gentlemen, right here on the ThinkSpace podcast.
You got it. All right, Val.
The key to happiness and success is don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
And do the little things.
Yeah.
Take responsibility. Take responsibility. That's number one. Learn. Formulate your own opinions, and don't be so hard on yourself.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
That's it.
Thanks, Val. Thanks for the pod.
All right, Josh. That was fun, man.
Our camera died, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
That's what's up, man.
That was great.
About time.
Take care, buddy.
Hey.